driver speeding.
No, I can do 78 mile an hour, 75 mile an hour. I'm only 3 mile an hour over. What are you talking about?
What's up,
That's
everybody?
me.
What is up,
Grand
everybody?
Rising, everybody.
Man, rising. Today is Saturday, June the 28th. This is another Operation Wisedome. Today we're going to be doing a workshop Saturday. There's a lot of people that's got shit going on. Hopefully I can get some of them pulled in. If not, we're going to go into just some depths, I think, of Alexander's situation. I don't know if he posted everything in there, and I don't know if he sent it to me. I ain't got a text yet. Honestly, need to make a call now that I'm thinking about Alexander and his situation. I don't know if anybody knows what's going on. Who's all in here right now? Let me see participants. Okay, and hey girl, you back? Yes, ma'am. Huh? Okay, that's not a problem. Let me come.
Known that it's a Ponzi scheme. Nope, go ahead.
No, you're good, Bubba. You're actually really good. I'm glad that you're in here because, yeah, we should do some work on yours as well. It's been quite a while, like longer than anybody else's. You've kind of just been quiet and doing your own thing. And so, why don't you kind of update us on everything that's going on? I think the last thing that I know is that you went out to go get an evaluation and they literally kind of was intimidating you, threatening you, making you feel weird.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay, go ahead.
Yep. Okay. So basically, oop, both cases are basically at the same point right now, which is nowhere. So Berry County seems to be very, very concerned with what Eaton County is doing. So Berry County has gone ahead and just put a pin right in everything until Eaton County finishes up whatever. So the next hearing is coming up July 24th. And that is to show cause of why I didn't quote unquote comply with the eval. And then also to show cause why I shouldn't be, one, held in contempt for not doing it, and two, held until they just do the eval, by their liking. So, but I went to the eval. That was on June 3rd. It's like
back.
2.5. What's that?
I was just saying, yeah, it feels like it was way more back than that.
Yeah, the order or whatever was the end of March or something. So to March, yeah. Anyway, I'd have to look it up. But anyway, so I go. I call them the night before or the day before to try to set it up for a Zoom because it says you could do that, but then they told me I can't because I would have to do it at a defense attorney's office or something. And of course they said that because they know I don't have one, right? So I can't do a Zoom. Okay, so then the next day I fucking get over there on time, whatever. I go in. They start just accosting me at the door. But I called them the day before and asked specifically, like, hey, am I going to be threatened, harassed, intimidated, locked behind any doors, recorded, handcuffed, punched, kicked, kneed, tased, kidnapped, any of that stuff? Nope. This is a safe environment. Okay. So then it says in their little instruction sheet there to bring some documents, right? Medical records specifically. Okay, so I brought my folder, right? I had some papers. So I come in, I ask if I have a right to counsel. Oh yeah, of course you do. Yep, okay. All right, counsel, come on, let's go back. Nope, they can't go back. Oh, so I don't have a right to counsel. Oh no, you do. Okay, so come on. Nope, they can't go back. So okay, so I don't have a right to counsel. Then they wouldn't let me take my notebook back. They said, oh, you can't take the notebook. I'm like, dude, it's papers. Oh, well, the papers are fine, but the notebook's not. Okay, I guess I'll just take the papers out of the notebook. No, now you can't bring the papers back either. That's for fuck's sake. Oh, okay, whatever. So I hand that shit off to the wife. So I go back. I'm like, I was pretty much ready to leave at that point, but I was like, we fucking drove all the way over here. Okay. So I go back behind their little locked doors, let some people touch me with their gloves on because, simple battery, whatever. Okay. So then they take you down the hallway to this little room. They stick you in this little quarter closet. There's 2 chairs and a little piece of a desk. That's it. Okay. So I'm standing in there, pacing back and forth. I was back there all in all 15 minutes, maybe. Seemed like a lot longer. But and I come over to the door. They said there weren't going to be locked doors, right? So I open the door. Well, that one's not locked. The three or four I came through are, but this one's not. Okay, that's cool. So I'm standing there and I go out in the hallway and I just kind of look because I'm expecting. They were really rushing me back there, like somebody was sitting there already, but nobody's back there. So I just kind of stepped in the hallway and looked, and the dude's like, get back in the room. You can't be wandering around in the hallway. Oh, okay. So I go back in, pace around and come back out. Then the guy threatens me. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he to the effect of, I'm going to get my ass kicked or something.
When you say the
okay.
guy,
So,
you mean a security guard?
yeah, the guard guy. Yeah. So, okay, whatever. So then I go back in the room. I just kept opening the door like a foot. He'd come back over and close it, So I'd open her up half a foot. And then a couple minutes later, dude comes back over after threatening me, opens the door, and removes one chair from the closet.
And then he's trying to
So I was like-
intimidate you. He's trying to do psychological shit here now.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So I'm like, okay, that's the last red flag for me. I already let these fucks touch me. I already went behind locked doors when they said I wasn't going to. I'm already being recorded because there's cameras everywhere, obviously. So, and now this guy's threatening me, and now he just removes the chair from the closet. Wasn't there supposed to be somebody else coming in to sit down to have a conversation or something? So why would you remove a chair? So at this point, I'm like pretty much convinced that these fucks are all going to just team up and just, come in and beat the shit out of me or something. So I was like, you know what? Am I free to leave? Because this is, because allegedly I was free to leave at any time. Okay, cool. So then I go to walk by. Yeah, you are. Okay. So I go to walk by. He gets in my way. And then, excuse me, sir. Pardon me, sir. Am I free to leave or not? Yes, you are. Oh, okay. Excuse me, sir. So then he gets more in my way. So then I have to turn sideways to skeet between him and the wall. I go back out. They finally open the door. I go back out to the lobby. I'm standing there. I'm like, yeah, I'd like a complaint form because this dude just threatened me for no apparent reason. So I'd like the complaint form. And I asked the guy, the only other thing I said to the guy was I asked him his name. You're not getting that. Huh. Oh, okay. So I get back out to the lobby. I chose to remove myself from that, whatever the fuck that environment was. Back out to the lobby and request a complaint form for a dude who just literally threatened me for no reason. So I go out to the lobby. They're standing there. Oh, yep. Okay. The guy who initially let me in the building did get me the complaint form. I said, okay, cool. Now I need that guy's name. And I look over and 2 or 3 of them that were back there come out and they're like, sir, your business is concluded here and you need to leave. I said, actually, I have an appointment for this, whatever this is. And right now, actually, currently my business is filling out this complaint form and I need that man's name. You guys know the one. Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, there's 4 chicks back there. It was none of them. There's 15 dudes. So bring them out. I'll point them out. You tell me his name so I can put it on the complaint form. Nope, you need to leave. And if you don't, we're calling the Michigan State Police. But the complaint form, bro. No, you can mail that in. Okay, well, can I get the guy's name so I can put it on the complaint form? Because I will mail it in. You need to leave. And if you don't, we're calling the Michigan State Police. Okay, well, I'm fucking leaving. So I left. So then we leave. It's right off the side of the highway, right? You turn right off the off ramp, turn right on the first road, and it's up there on the right hand side. Anyway. So we go get back on the on ramp. It's right there, right? As soon as I turn on the on ramp, I can't help but notice that there's a Michigan State biker cop on my ass coming up the on ramp. Okay. So then we continue along. The first in between, you're at the emergency turnaround and the highway. Boom, there's a Michigan State cruiser. Okay. So we pass him. The biker cop passes us, staring at me the whole time, doing 85 miles an hour. Because why would you look forward on a bike while you're doing? But so he stares at me, passes me. The other one's coming up behind us. Exit, stage right. So we got off the fucking exit and we backroaded the rest of the way home. So then I called the whatever the hell that alleged hospital is the next day and tried to talk to the director or whatever and the record department to get camera footage or whatever shit they generated. They never called me back. The director finally called me back and then hung up on me. And so I tried to file a complaint with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services or whatever is their heading on the, so they're the one that they work under, obviously. So I tried to file a complaint with them except they didn't call me back. They sent me that letter. I think I posted it, saying that they're, well, it's not something for them to investigate or whatever. But the information has been turned over to another investigative authority. So I had to call them back and find out what the fuck that meant. And they just said, oh, well, the sheriff's office over there, whatever county, they just forwarded my information to that sheriff's office as well. So a couple days later, I get a letter saying, which I think I posted it there, saying that now I have to, turn back up to show cause at Eaton County, why I didn't. Right. So because the one doctor type that I talked to that morning or the day before and that morning wrote this little letter saying that I just left before the evaluation was done. Not that I was forced to leave or that the cops were going to be called or any of that shit. Just that I just left before the thing happened. So yeah, that's where it's at right now.
So in a nutshell, you went for a psych eval and couldn't get the psych eval.
That's, yeah, in a nutshell. Yep.
Okay. Latest update.
Or more appropriately, they made it fucking impossible. I mean, I'm not going to stand there. I don't care what's going on. I'm not going to stand there and be threatened by people for no reason, So they just set the shit up. So I didn't leave. I came out to the lobby and I told them right there, and I recorded the shit as well. I'm like, dude, we can do the eval right here. I don't care. There's 100 other rooms in this building, I'm sure, because it's a big, stupid building. Pick one. Hell, let's do it in the men's room. I don't care. Anywhere. I'm just not doing it back there being threatened by people for no reason. And I'd like a complaint form.
Right.
So, yeah, there's no mention of any of that, I think I posted that, his little note there too. Reportedly, I just left. Which reportedly means he wasn't in the fucking room when any of that happened, so it's all hearsay. His letter.
Lock the doors.
I'm really thinking I should have stayed though. I should have stayed, let the cops come. Hey guys, could you guys get me that guy's name, by the way? Because I need it for this complaint form, and I need the CAD number for this call and the reason for the call, so on and so forth. Right.
Yeah. So Tony, you said you have your own self-authenticating video evidence of that interaction, though, right?
I have audio, yeah.
Audio, okay. Okay, well, good.
With an annoying clicking sound in it, but other than that, yeah. So some of it was kind of lost, but
That shit was annoying. What the hell was I clicking anyway?
it's the pen, like the little clip on the pen, like sprung just a little tiny bit, so it was like slapping around in the folder. But
Yeah.
and that doesn't make much sense, dude, because most of the time it just sounds like I'm just holding the folder, like shaking that bitch like a maraca or something, Except we're not. We're just standing. So, but anyway, so at least I got some of it anyway.
Didn't they tell
And
you
recorded the
had to
calls.
leave because they said your business here is done?
That's
Put
exactly
that
what
in
they
your
said.
report.
Yes. My
So you were
business was
forced to leave.
concluded, and if I don't leave, the Michigan State Police would be called. Is exactly what I was told.
Call him. Call him.
Forced to leave.
Call him. Call him.
Call who?
Call him. Call. They threaten you with the police? Call them.
Yeah.
I'll be right
Tony,
here
you
waiting.
should have called the police. The
Call
state
them.
police.
Right.
Right
Okay.
here waiting.
And that's good in hindsight. Like I said, I probably should have done it. At least remain there long enough for the cops to get there and give me a fucking CAD number. But
Yep.
Tony didn't want to go to fucking jail again for no reason.
You're
So
not
I
going to
left.
jail for no reason.
I've
And if you
been to
did,
jail
that would have
more
been a
times than
huge
want to
payday.
do.
Man, I'd have taken that payday. What you talking about?
Right, yeah, exactly, man. Come on.
Well,
Give me that.
I got 4 paydays on the back burner, so I'd like to deal with those first before I get any more on the stove. You know what I mean?
I feel you, bro. Shit.
Tony, I will come and bail you out if need be. I'm only 3 hours away, buddy.
I'm gonna remember you said that.
Yeah. Hey, he said I'm gonna hold you to it. You better watch out.
Tony, you're gonna need more bigger stove. Get some more burners.
Yep, I'm gonna need your number too, Joe.
No problem, buddy.
Oh man, you guys are cool. You guys are literally the only thing that's been keeping my fucking head above water. Otherwise, I may have just accidentally drove my car into a fucking tree or something.
Well,
Anyway,
I'm glad you
I
didn't
don't
do
know.
that.
But
Yeah.
I'm glad
Yeah,
you're here
yeah.
with
No,
us,
you guys
Bubba.
are
You
awesome.
didn't crash that car into a tree.
That's right. You have remedy. We just need you got to work through it. You're on that path, and so we're gonna help you out, man.
Yeah, they're being hard. They're being hard with you, so I wouldn't stress on it too much. I think a lot of it's like an example with like Palmyra. Palmyra just yesterday, she was on last Saturday. We helped her, and this week they're having, of course, a hearing or another hearing coming. Yes, ma'am. Okay, every time. It's okay though. Give me 1 second. Can you pause that for just 1 second? Actually, you got your stool upstairs in the bathroom.
At Pacific Power, we're committed to
Pause it.
providing the safe, reliable.
Hey, you got your stool in the bathroom upstairs. You can use the
What
stool.
do you think about a notice and demand for original jurisdiction?
You just start throwing cops and judges in jail, and then maybe someone will wake up. Just lawsuits, because they don't care about money. They just hand the money over. But they start start getting some people doing some time, then someone might wake up, especially if they're sheriffs and DAs.
Yeah, because they think they're untouchable.
Or find a new workaround, one of the two, right?
Yep.
And like Tanoa thinks they're gonna that the Trump administration is gonna be coming for these guys here in about 30 days or so, that 90-day windows.
Say that, or they're going to
They
pardon
want
them.
to come
One of
after
the two.
the judges. We need to give them ammo.
Say either that, or they're going to give them total immunity. You know, one of the two.
I don't think that's happening.
He owes them a favor. You know what I mean?
I believe Trump will go after those judges about the same day that he goes after Hillary the Clinton.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Well, it's not him. It's Dan Bongino and Cash.
Dan Bongino's done lost my respect too.
Yeah, well,
They got too much on their plate.
they're still in their court, so all we can do is hope and pray they do the right thing.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you currently have open on the what do you currently have open and pending right now currently, Anthony?
So as far as both court cases are concerned, I still have that notice and demand and that affidavit that stand unrebutted in Eaton County. And then the Berry County, as far as I know.
Hold on 1 second. You're gonna have to mute right after I mute everybody. Hold on. All right, now go ahead and unmute again, please.
Okay. So in the Eaton County, I have the affidavit and my notice and demand that currently stand completely unrebutted.
This one here?
Yeah, the ones that yep. Yeah, I've only put in one affidavit and one notice and demand in the Eaton County. I haven't submitted anything in the Berry County, and as far as I know, neither has the public pretender. Because 6 months, bro. You couldn't possibly file a single thing in 6 months, right? So,
damn.
So I'm getting ready to. I'm most likely gonna shit can her because she's terrible. So, has literally done nothing. But anyway, but they just Berry County's just put a total pin in it until they're just. Yeah, that's all they talk about, man. Everybody in Berry County, the only thing they talk about is what is going on in Eaton County. So.
My only thing is this. So like, you haven't developed anything in 2 months, or we haven't developed anything in 2 months. I guess we can say that. The only thing is that you're very smart. So where do you want to go, and what plan of action do you have, and how can I develop certain things for you? I hear everybody or a couple people mentioning the original jurisdiction aspect, and while I do think that that is a great perspective to bring into an overall document, I don't think it should be a document that's solely focused on that in and of itself.
Right.
Because if you do that, then you're setting yourself up for a hearing only arguing that point, rather than bringing in everything and then trying to argue all of that within one hearing in and of itself. So that would be number one. Now, the original jurisdiction, I think, is a really good thing, but then also on the forefront is, again, I don't necessarily always try to argue on the forefront the aspects of, I mean, it depends. It depends on what you feel as though is the heaviest. And the heaviest I feel like that depends on you is your creator endowed rights on the forefront. your constitutional rights that were violated on the forefront. There is no doubt about that. That is cold cut. The statement of facts clearly show and prove that there was a warrantless arrest that occurred without a crime being committed, without no reasonable articulable suspicion, when they are supposed to issue a ticket and let you go. It's Rodriguez versus United States. They're not supposed to extend the stop beyond a de minimis amount of time, beyond the reasonable aspect of just issuing the citation in and of itself. So if you're hitting
Right.
on those forefronts, if we're hitting on that aspect, I mean, you got to call for a hearing. And I guess that would be in the other one, which would finally get to the point of saying, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and file, or I don't know if they gave me a copy.
I think the simplest one would be, I believe it's 45 days, right? They got 45 days to take you to the trial, and then they got 45 days to take you to conduct the trial.
So if I
It's
don't know,
been 6 months.
can you see this?
A little bit.
Okay, so this is just a waiver. Okay, it's a waiver that I need an attorney. This is what I signed yesterday, right? And they went through everything with me on that. Was you able to hear that or no yesterday? Did you listen to it?
No, I missed it.
Okay, we're gonna do it right now then. Because this is kind of like what you should have gone through, and something I would say you can honestly, stop share. Something I would honestly say that you can bitch about, because they're ringing you through a whole bunch of bullshit just to get what they know you already are requesting. And the reason they're doing that is so they keep control and power over you. That's literally the only reason why they're doing that. And I'm noticing it more and more now due to the fact that it happened to me yesterday. And I just heard how this dude did all this explaining, and to me it was just the most wildest shit. So let me see. Y'all let me know. Can you hear this?
I can hear it.
Yes.
Yep.
And Mr. Wilson, I'm putting off the information for Raymond. I'll note that you're seeking to represent yourself, and so we'll address that in just a moment.
Wish I could speed this up. Okay, so right now what's happening, I'll pause it just real quick. Right now what's happening with this pause as far as any speaking being done is what they had going on is they didn't even have attorneys there. It was weird. This public defender was not assigned the case, but was working it through some agency. And when I went up there, so they printed off the paper, you heard the printer go off, and it's the information. So they're presenting me finally with an information now, which is, I'm thinking, what everybody should get. They should all get presented an information so that they can review the information and either object, accept, or acknowledge, right? So you're rejecting it, you're denying it, or you're admitting it, and you're acknowledging it. So when she gave me this piece of paper, she started to explain, is everything here on here correct? All it said was Cameron Wilson in all caps. I said, no. Then she said, and then I said something else, and she's like, well, listen, we are just trying to get you through the court process. And I was like, first off, who is we? Do you work for me or do you work for the, she's like, I'm just trying to help the court, get you through. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, do you work for me or do you work for them? And she's like, well, listen, I'm just trying to help you get you through. I said, I don't think I need help. I'm not trying to waive any jurisdiction, and I don't even know who you are. You talking about we? Who is we? Do you work for the court? And then she goes, and she goes up there, and then she says this. Come on, man. See, we're just going back and forth for a second. Damn, I wish I could hear it.
We're just a reading.
59 seconds.
Yeah, there's just white noise.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to.
I hear a hint of her voice, and sometimes I'll hear a hint of your voice, but it's really too quiet.
I know. I'm about to skip it through. See, we're arguing for a minute.
Your Honor, at this point, Mr. Wilson does not agree to me arraigning him. He wants to be able to arraign himself.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
She said, Cameron Wilson don't want me to arraign him. He wants to arraign himself. Clearly.
I'll just have you be present in the back if
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Can y'all hear it still? Or no?
So, Mr. Wilson, I printed off an information. I just want to make sure that.
Can y'all still hear it or no?
Yeah, it's good.
Everything on it
Yeah.
is
I can hear it.
correct. So, is your first name Cameron?
Well, on the information sheet itself, Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
is spelled with all capital letters. My name is Cameron James Wilson with proper spelling.
Oh, and middle is JAMES, is that correct?
That is correct, but it's not in all capital letters. This CAM with all capitals, Cameron Wilson would indicate a corporation, which I am not. So I just want to make that clear. So that information is incorrect as far as the spelling is concerned.
Very good. Ms. Johnson, can I have you grab the,
Yes, Your Honor.
the information and bring it up to the court?
Of course.
I'm going to amend the information to add the middle name of James. So that is amended. I'm going to initial and date that. And so I do note the objection as to capitalization of the name. And then is your date of birth February 5 of 87?
That is the date in which a document was wrote for my birth, but not my birth as far as life is concerned, conception of life.
Oh, and so what is your birthday?
Well, you would have to ask my mother and Almighty God. I wouldn't know the exact date and time and hour of whatever time is referenced in relation to my creation.
Okay, so the record will reflect that Mr. Wilson can't state his birthday. And then.
Okay, Anthony, you hear him right there? Hear how he said, okay, let it be known for the record that Cameron Wilson can't state his birthday. See how they do that? They probably
Right.
doing this same type shit to you, right? Rebut that shit
Yeah.
immediately.
Interfering with the peace officer. What?
Yep.
Sorry, sir.
Just an objection. I did state that there is a document claiming 2587. So that was the date of birth, but not my conception as far as life is concerned.
Oh, okay. Date of birth was.
So how I do this, okay, just real quickly, how I do this is the aspect that anytime I'm dealing with these people, there were several people that came up to me and tried to show me that they're more dominant than me. The bailiff, okay, the district attorney that was working this case, not the whole district attorney, just the one that's working for the state at this courthouse at this time. Literally knows nothing about me. They always keep trying to put a little bit more force on you, or just try to make you seem out of place. Just a smooth objection. And then what's even crazier is you don't got to be rude with it either. Even though they're rude, let it be known Cameron Wilson can't state his damn birthday. You know, okay, Dick, listen, buddy, okay? Laughing. Well, you know, just this is how I'm talking to him. Just like I'm looking at my face. Well, you know, you're all there. You'd have to ask my mother and father because, you know, in that type of manner, if you're coming in that type of manner, they get a little bit more defense. You know, they're like, okay, he's not trying to battle me. I won't be as rude, right? They start getting in that type. They up here, but then as you keep being nice and smiling and just coming back with nice remarks, they just keep coming down a little bit more and a little bit more. Okay, that's all I want to say. I'm not gonna play the rest of it right now. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to. And I just want you to know, sometimes you just got to get some rebuttals in there, kind of speak up for yourself, but then also you got to, man, geez, I know it's a hard time for you trying to get these attorneys up off your ass too. So, but let's see, conclusion. Why is it doing start agent? Why is it going into? I don't get why it's in the chat right now. I didn't ask you to stay in the chat. I must have did that on complete legal scenario, multifaceted, executive summary, foundational principles, detailed analysis, deconstructing the constitutional infractions. See, what is going on? Pasted, and then it's not. So it was on my chat. Ugh, horrible. Okay. Accusing errors narrative. So then if we have issues with what I need to do is we need to develop a response to admit. We need to develop a response to and where's it at? You're in here, and then back into Tony. Okay, so these were filed. Okay, so you are directed to appear, and this is on the 24th. And then, yes, ma'am. Oh, nice. Good job. Was it yummy? Good. No, not right now. No, ma'am. Status conference.
I do like the important, read this carefully. Number 3, if failure of the plaintiff to appear may result in a dismissal. Well, seems how there is no plaintiff.
Jurist Kelly Morton. How's Kelly treating you?
Oh, like a tool.
Okay.
She entered a plea on my behalf, and then she told me I can't defend myself, and then slapped me with a public pretender that I didn't ask for, and then in court, the 2 times that he actually went to court, all he did was whine because he wanted to talk, which just his bar complaint, and I got it printed up and sent it up.
Hey, what does STC
and
stand
then,
for? Do you know? STC?
What is it?
STC? I'm losing a blank. I'm blanking out.
Oh, is that the Center for Forensic Psychiatry? No. STC.
No, it says it right here. It says, STC. STC in motion to show cause for failure to cooperate with competency evaluation.
I wonder if that's her motion and affidavit.
What's a STC stand for?
That's what I'm trying to think. Is it on the
It's all right. Don't
flip
worry
to the next?
It's all right. Hold on. STC.
Would it Where's your big be comfy
subject to
couch?
change?
Show cause.
Show cause, yeah, I think is, yeah.
No, it's not in. I'm reading. Show cause for failure to cooperate. For failure to cooperate with competency with for failure to cooperate with competency evaluation. Is that what it is? Competency evaluation. Competency evaluation. Oh shit, people keep coming in. Okay, admit. Get the waiver of attorney. Oh my god, I thought I added you. Get the waiver of attorney finally granted to start. Hey, have you already got discovery?
Yeah. But it's all edited. Nothing.
Nothing on the
On the
body
white
cams.
email.
What about all of the internal stuff? Like all of your paperwork and all that good stuff.
What's that?
Like all of your paperwork and stuff like that.
Yeah, they gave me a DVD, a fistful of fraudulent papers, and that was about it. And the videos are edited, which she admits on the stand that they can mute them because they have a policy, you know.
They trying to put your ass in civil contempt.
Yep.
To show cause why you should not be held in civil contempt. So
right, which I
want to do a declaration or an affidavit?
Yeah, I called the court and informed them of the situation.
Okay, I asked you a question.
But what? Sorry.
It's okay.
Do I want to do an affidavit
or a declaration?
I mean, declaration's fine with me.
To finish it, and then.
I mean, I think everybody should file shit the same way that they do. If they don't notarize anything, don't notarize it. If they didn't sign it, don't sign it. Right? Why submit yourself to shit like perjury and when they don't?
I would say do it right. At least show that you're doing everything correctly and they're screwing up.
I hate to say it, Tony. That's how it worked for me. That's how it worked for me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like to do that notary signature on occasions because it shows more validity to what you're saying, that you're willing to stand by your words no matter what. So
that STC could be subject to signature or subject to contract.
Yeah, it could be. As far as the notary goes, Tony, the time to get the notary is when you want to start pointing out to them that they have nothing but inferior evidence and documents because no one can stand against yours, and that's for appellate purposes and later claims. And then they ignore that. You have the superior document. You can't hear them if they don't stand the same way you do. If they don't subject themselves to the penalties of perjury, then what they say is meaningless compared to your document. And other times, and other times you can simply do. I remember I was running late, and all I could do was email it to them. I can't sign an email, and it landed in. They, like you said, they just sort of had to take it in.
It's saying for the state of Michigan that STC is State Tax Commission.
No, ask it in legalese, on legalese documents.
Okay.
From a judge or court order.
I mean, I don't know if like between the declaration and the affidavit, there's concepts I agree with both, but it's like at the same time, Carl Lentz and them guys, do declarations, but I don't know, however lost in the weeds you want to get with some of this stuff. It's like, well, an affidavit is their term, so you don't, right? I mean, I don't fucking know, but
An affidavit isn't their term. An affidavit is a statement of truth.
right,
Of
but
the
it's
facts. Of the facts.
terminology,
Yes, it is the facts. It's all about bringing the facts as you see them into the court.
Exactly.
It's on the fact side, not the law side.
Good morning, everybody.
Grand Rising, Ralph.
Blessed be.
Come on, let me select it, please. Thank you. I'm trying to get your explanation of what happened here so we can develop a good response.
I don't even know how they can say, "Oh, failure to comply." I went there, bro. I went behind their little locked doors. I let people touch me. I stood in a room. It's like they're trying to say, but I didn't even go. Basically, I just showed up and left, and was like, except that's not.
STC might be set to continue.
Set to continue? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Possibly.
Yeah, could be.
My judge
I'd write them back
issued a bench warrant.
I'd write them back and notify them that they forced you out of the building.
Which I did, Mitch. I called the court within a day. I think it was within 24 hours, if not 48. And told them, was like, yeah, I'm just notifying you guys that I went there, told them exactly the same thing I told you guys. And, well, okay. Oh, okay. I was like, well, has there been a bench warrant issued? Oh, not that I see. Oh, okay. That's good, I guess. And then I got that letter a week and a half later or whatever.
Well, you had a scheduled appointment and they didn't keep to the appointment.
Right. They're supposed to be very timely. If they're untimely, that's not your fault, per se. It's their fault. And if you have other things that you have to do, you're not expected to wait and abide by their scheduled time. There was a time that was scheduled, and if they're not able to meet it, then they reschedule. But the fact is that they did my boy bad anyways, as far as how they were treating him. And nobody should be treated that way, especially when they're coming in just to make sure they get everything done to defend themselves so that they can waive their right to an attorney, which they've wanted to do, but apparently there's issues in doing such. So
STC's for Michigan.
Kept whining about was I can't get a clear and definite waiver. I never asked for an attorney, so why would I have to waive? I'm not going to waive any of my rights, because if they actually presented an actual crime with an actual, maybe I'd want an attorney. Except they haven't even presented a valid complaint. So
that's why I was wishing Alexander would have came in today.
Yo, I'm in.
Oh, okay, Alexander, go ahead and explain about that.
Just
Perfect.
gonna say something.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say because if they presume the presumptions, right, that you are corporate fiction, then someone needs to summon you.
Well, wait. I want you to go into that back end aspect of having the DA as your backup and not necessarily your co-counsel.
I had some before you even woke up.
Say again.
Just one quick reminder for everybody. If you are not speaking or actively speaking, please mute your microphone. Please, if you don't mind. What I was gonna say is, Anthony, go ahead and explain the aspect of how you had the public defender as co-counsel rather than counsel up front.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I can backtrack through the story if it comes to that, but at the point,
Yeah, no.
where
We'll set it. I'll set up a little bit aside time.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the point where I had submitted, so my court was in Stanislaus County, and they have this packet. I can get off the recording what the number of the packet is, but it's a packet that basically I have to initial and sign. And the packet is essentially the same things that the judge was reading off verbally to Cam during his latest recording at his court hearing. So I was basically reading and initialing almost all the same things that he was stating to Cam. And then at the end, I signed it. I took photographs of it. And so that form was my acknowledgement that I knowingly, willingly, and intentionally am presenting myself. And so when it came time to that was at my arraignment that happened. So after the arraignment was my first case management conference. And at that case management conference is where even though I had that form, and even though I have court minutes stating that I'm pro se, or pro per, actually, I think it says, there was a public defender there. Her name was Maddie. And she was assigned to me, like, I guess it just automatically. And so while.
Now, why you say automatically? Why did they do that, you think?
Now, this is conjecture. I have no proof of any of this, right? But in my thoughts through the whole matter, it's because if the presumption is that I'm a corporate entity or a legal fiction, then in this summoning, right? If you think about any fucking scary movie that you ever watched about Ouija boards or people sitting around a table during seances, right? Or whatever the fuck. When you bring a spirit in, right? Or you bring an entity in, it usually comes through somebody, right? It doesn't, like, I don't know. Maybe this is just me, but like, I feel like it's possessing somebody, right? And then it's speaking through somebody. So if they presume I'm a fiction, then somebody needs to bring me in, right? Now, if you bring yourself in and you show standing, right, that you are there, then there's no denying that you're a legal fiction because you're physically there. You must have walked into that room. No one represented you, right? You presented yourself. And that's this may get into the whole, like, how movies are manipulating reality and how.
Well, I was just thinking.
Sorry. All right, we'll get.
No, you're good. You're good.
So
I was just thinking more on the aspect of also jurisdiction.
I think it
right.
falls.
If they have to have, hold on. If they have to have and make sure that they can have you as a ward of the court and an infant, you must be presented.
Exactly.
Such. You can't be a ward and an infant if you're presenting yourself. Right?
Yes. And now think about it like this. Whenever those seances occur, right, and those movies, whenever that table gets formed, what do? They create a pact, right? They hold hands or they chant something similar. Or they do some odd thing that establishes that they are connected in some way, right? Or the circle, they draw the circle, like whatever. So through their oaths, through their membership, through their bars, through their practices, through their praxis, right, of being in that courtroom and following those rules of court, they are basically establishing that circle around themselves. And so if you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that kind of shit. But then you get back into reality and it's like, well, you know, yeah, it's all about jurisdiction. Because either they pull you in or you walk in on your own accord. So what happened was there was a public defender there. Okay. And
wait, you're gonna get too deep. Stay on
no,
topic right now.
I'm right back on topic. So the
Okay.
public defender was there. I never asked for it. I never contracted with anybody, right? I actually signed the form that said I was going to present myself. So she was there. So we went outside.
Wait a minute. Time out. I just want to comment before you go on beyond that point that you just made, because I'm total agreement with you. In my case that I got dismissed, I said 3 times, maybe 4 times, I am not Mr. Azeltine. I am not the defendant. And they didn't know where to go with that. And so I just want to make that point that I agree with what you're saying there.
Yeah, you know, I think it's I'm trying to make it accessible, right? Because I've never been in a courtroom. This is the first time I've ever even been arrested, right? So besides traffic tickets or something, I've never been in a courtroom. I've never studied law, like none of this shit. So what I relate to is how they try to manipulate my reality, right? And so if you want to fall down the conspiracy hill of it, I think most horror movies are really trying to get you to believe about science fiction when really it's how they conduct themselves in reality and shit like that. You know, so anyway, me and this public defender, we go outside, I guess, to have a conference before my trial actually starts. I'm one of the last people in the room, you know, 20 or so people went before me. And so we go out and I say, listen, you know, she's probably somewhere around my age. I'm 36. So I guess let me get on video here. So I can, sorry guys. Okay, so me and Maddie are talking in the hallway and I'm polite, I'm tactful, I'm considerate, I'm looking her in the eye. I'm recognizing that she's a human being, right? I'm looking around as this seance goes on, and most of these people don't even really care about being in the room, right? They're just going through the motions. None of this is personal, right? So there's no need for me to start attacking Maddie.
Wait, say that one more time. What?
None of it is personal.
Why is it not personal?
Because most of them are just going through the motions.
They don't know you, right?
Yeah. They don't know you from Shinola. So, so I get to talk with Maddie. I let her lay out. Actually, I laid out first that I was going to be presenting myself. I let her lay out why she was there and usually how the process works. And she gave me a little bit of the spiel of, and I totally understood because I had a dude, maybe 3 or 4 people in front of me that the court ordered to a doctor for evaluation, and the doctor came back that he was extremely disabled and unable to care for himself. So they had like 2 public defenders or something and a translator on his ass.
Alexander,
Yo.
you got to get to where you got to get, Papa, right now.
Okay,
I'm
all right,
still
all
in Anthony. It's all good.
Sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
So me and this public defender came to an agreement that I was going to be presenting myself. After that agreement, I then asked her, well, since we're here, and since she told me that she got to view the body cam footage and she got to read the police report that I never received, I essentially tried to glean from her what I could about that information, because if I was going to be presenting myself, I wanted to be as prepared as possible. She said at that moment, she technically was representing me, right? Or there was a privilege that existed. And so she was able to relay information to me that I could use in court. So I had that same out of court conference with the DA, and he's like, hey, yada, yada. I shook his hand. Same thing. And he told me that he was gonna, if I took the guilty plea, that they would give me the time served, and that would be it. Basically, the night in jail I spent. I said, absolutely fucking not. Very politely, I said, well,
Wait a
no,
second.
sir.
You're still telling your whole story right now.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm trying to relay that the DA gave me a plea deal. I said I
No, I didn't
that.
even want you to tell any of that good stuff yet.
So when I went back into the court, Maddie helped me to tell the court that I was presenting myself. Then she stood by, right, as I went through the matter. The DA dismissed the charges. I submitted. I had all of my documentation in. The DA dismissed the charges, and I walked.
Don't tell everything yet. You're telling all the good stuff. Stop.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
All that Alexander was supposed to say in this 10-minute, 15-minute time period was that yes, the co-counsel was co-counsel. The public defender was co-counsel. They did not come in full force trying to defend for me. They actually helped me get to where I needed to be by just assisting me. Right. So there are those aspects, Anthony, if you wanted to utilize them.
Thank you for that brevity plan.
Yeah, I mean, damn. It could have took 30 seconds, but it's okay because I do want to get to you. You definitely was in the email about today's thing, but you're giving up the beans already. Chill. Okay, so what I'm trying to say on that one is, yeah, that's okay. All right, so anyways, what I got going on since we just went through that is we did just a little bit here as far as getting some reviewing to go on in relation to the situation and currently where you're at. Now, Manus, of course, don't know everything. I ain't pulled everything in here, but from where we're at, this is kind of the perspective on, based on the knowledge and the prompts and everything, where we might be somewhere around. And again, this is just to respond to the situation at hand, right? So, of course, when we're talking about original jurisdiction and any of those moves, yes, that would be something that we would do, but it wouldn't be at this juncture. Why would it not be at this juncture? Well, because there's things on the docket for hearing that's set to speak about first. We need to speak about those. To get all that cleared and up out the way, then we can move on to shit that we need to really get spoken about, and we'll call a hearing for that, okay? One of the first things I'm showing, well, let's see. I'm coming back over to Manus first, and I want to see. I already got a filing guide for you, strategy guide, and then there was something else, case validation, updated case analysis. Let's check and see what this says. Just real quick, nothing crazy. Based on Tony's detailed account, situation for censure. Just because y'all know I am not a dude that likes silence, I'm throwing on some back tunes. I know some of you may not like it, but I'm doing it anyways.
I'll let you do your thing.
Okay. Thanks, Papa. I work very well when I get to do my own thing. All right, so let's see. Okay, so the critical new information, actual events, physical threats, intimidation, deliberate obstruction tactics, Tony's reasonable response, denial of due process rights, coordinated law enforcement response, cover-up attempts. And then the legal implications from this situation are the deliberate denial of AKE rights. I'm not sure what those are. I've never heard of them before. Staff intentionally prevented evaluation, the due process violations, threats, intimidation, and denial of complaint process, and then the equal protection, which is discriminatory treatment based on Tony's pro se status. There is a criminal conspiracy, which is coordination between CFP, staff, and law enforcement, a deliberate plan to deny constitutional right, and a potential 42, well, not potential, we do have 42 USC civil rights violations. And then there may be possibly perjury or false official statements. Dr. Witherell's letter omits crucial facts about the staff threats, mischaracterizes Tony's departure as non-cooperation, fails to mention Tony's offer to complete evaluation elsewhere. So a strategic response adjustments would be the affidavit, add a civil rights claim, demand criminal investigation, evidence preservation, which is always key. And these, what's cool about this is like evidence preservation is sending out a notice like, let me see if I got one. Evidence, motion, preservation. So this would be a notice that you would send out to any agency of anywhere that works within any department of the overall overarching agency. And this is because legal notices and demands are the highest of authority because you are the highest of authority, and don't nobody need to tell you that. So when you come in and you're seeking to speaker go after the situation like you are, Tony, you would do it in this kind of manner, which is a legal notice, directly sending it over to the custodian of records. Wherever this place is, it would be both. Well, it would be to the facility in and of itself, because they would need to preserve those records as far as body camera footage and all that for federal and civil litigation. And so again, this is a formal demand, the lawful custodian of records pursuant to your codes, the records that are requested, everything in very great detail, right? And then a preservation demand. Do not destroy, overwrite. Of course, it would be in relation to the spoliation doctrine because of a litigation hold. Any responsive record until final resolution of all claims be advised as civil rights, right? And then a fee waiver, and then their time of compliance to provide this information to you and or respond that they are preserving the evidence in and of itself, okay? And that's all based on code and law that they got to abide by. Not you, but that they got to abide by. So that's why I say that. Where else we at? Yeah, so that's on the evidence preservation in and of itself. And then an updated document strategy. Okay, cool. So then we got that one. Come zoom back out. And then let's look at the filing strategy before we go into the actual documents in and of itself. So comprehensive filing strategy and guidance. The immediate action required. Uh-oh, come on, zoom in now. Zoom in. Why are my fingers not working today? Can you just, okay, we done. Oh God. Okay, so immediate action, document package overview, response to show cause. So primary response documents, the response to show cause establishes constitutional violations by state agents. It demands dismissal of show cause order. 5 would be the motion for waiver of an attorney, secures right to proceed pro se, meets all constitutional requirements for self-representation and the essential in establishing standing to file other motions. Then an enhanced affidavit. Then your other supporting documents, such as the emergency motion for immediate psychological evaluation. And then, of course, our case filing. Oh, yeah, the pizza! So then timing and sequence. So a timing and sequence, immediately filing within 24 to 48 hours, the motion for waiver of an attorney. That's priority. Number 2.
I think we could skip that one because the judge did say unlabeled as a pro. Actually, they actually put pro per on their documents. So
this time?
Yeah, I believe so.
I would still put in a motion for waiver of attorney and get it on the record, confirmed and granted. That's how I do it. I don't care what they wrote on their document. Go ahead and get it granted. Go ahead and get it approved. Let's just smooth sail this bitch out like it's supposed to. Number 2, a response to show cause. 3, the enhanced affidavit. The waiver of attorney must be granted first to establish standing for pro se representation. And then all documents should be filed simultaneously to present comprehensive responses. File in person at the 56th district. 3 copies, 1 for the court, 1 for 1 for personal records. Oh, hey, quit screaming, girl. I'm in this meeting. Courtroom strategy. So prepare checklist. We'll have to build out. Oh, it already did build out a little mini script. What? Anya, stop it. Okay, so opening statement. Your Honor, I appear in proper persona and respectfully request this court to grant my motion for waiver of attorney. The show cause order is based on fundamentally false premises. I did not fail to cooperate. I was prevented from cooperating by deliberate obstruction. I have filed a comprehensive documentation for the constitutional violations that occurred. And then the key points you would emphasize, you appeared for evaluation. Okay, we'll go through this later because I'm going to build out a more detailed hypothetical script anyways. Okay, so the first one is definitive show response. Okay, hold on 1 second. How do I do this? Papi.
Poor girl.
That's what happens when they don't think about what they're jumping on.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to it. Sorry, baby girl. Baby girl got, baby girl loves some daddy. All right, so let me see. Defendant's response to show cause and motion for immediate relief, nunc-pro-tunc. To the Honorable Court comes now the defendant Anthony, appearing in proper persona sui juris with all creator and endowed rights reserved and none waived, nunc-pro-tunc, pursuant to the organic Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of Michigan, and the immutable principles of natural law. Hereby respectfully request to this Honorable Court's order to show cause dated June 11th, and simultaneously moves for an immediate relief from the constitutional violations that have affected these proceedings ab initio. The preliminary statement, the instant order to show cause is predicated upon fundamentally erroneous factual premise, namely that defendant failed to cooperate with the court-ordered competency evaluation. This premise is not merely incorrect. It constitutes a profound mischaracterization of the factual circumstances that reveals a systematic pattern of constitutional violations perpetuated by state agents acting under color of law. Far from failing to cooperate, defendant Anthony presented himself for the court-ordered evaluation in full compliance with this honorable court's directive, only to be denied his creator-endowed right to mental assistance by the various state agents charged with facilitating the evaluation process. The record unequivocally establishes that on June the 3rd, 2025, defendant appeared at the Center for Forensic Psychiatry as directed by this court's order dated April 14th, 2025. Hold on one second. Resume. Where is the...
Should have mentioned to...
Okay, so then we have, however, rather than receiving the constitutionally mandated psychiatric... the record unequivocally establishes that on June 3rd, the defendant appeared in the Center for Forensic Psychiatry as directed by this court's order. The systematic denial of constitutional rights represents not merely a procedural irregularity, but a foundational violation of the due process guarantees enshrined by the 4th and 14th Amendments to the Constitution, as well as Article 1, Section 20. The state's deliberate interference with defendants' access to mental health assistance strikes at the very heart defendants' access to mental health assistance. This could get changed. I don't like that sentence. The system renders the further proceedings fundamentally unfair and constitutionally infirm. Enter the order, undergo competency evaluation, issued in recognition. Okay, in full compliance, defendant prepared to participate. Defendant's appearance at designated time. State agents, and despite, according to the official correspondence, you're gonna have to run through this, but this is pretty detailed on getting what was brought forth through their documents and then bringing forth a rebuttal with a legal argument. So the state's obstruction of the evaluation process violates your creator-endowed rights under Aki versus Oklahoma. The state's actions constitute a violation of substantive due process. The state's characterization of the defendant actions as non-cooperation violates procedural due process. The state's actions violate the 6th Amendment right to effective assistance of counsel. Although defendant appears in proper persona, the state's obstruction of the evaluation process violates principles analogous to those underlying the 6th Amendment right to effective assistance of counsel. The Supreme Court has recognized connected the right to psychiatric assistance to the broader right to effective assistance of counsel, noting that psychiatric experts are essential to assist in evaluation, preparation, and presentation of the defense. Access to a psychiatric assistance. See, some of these is going to have to be changed. I don't like how this is coming out. The court lacks authority to proceed absence constitutional requirements. I'm actually going to have her motion to show cause. 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 The motion to show cause and maybe other documents are bringing in the aspect of Anthony needing assistance, and rather I mean, I guess you do.
Rather than assistance, an immediate dismissal. But yeah. And a public apology and a check. That'd be
for
still insulting, but still a much nicer insulting. But yeah.
If I may.
Go ahead, G.
Of course.
What about defendant? Put defendant in error.
Or alleged defendant too. Yesterday I did something like that. That was pretty interesting in relation to this DA I was working with. And I kept saying,
I like accused in error.
I'm the alleged defendant, or I'm the defendant in error. And he goes, what is that? And I said, I'm the alleged defendant in error. He goes, I've never heard of such a thing. No, I'm the defendant in error. And he said, I've never heard of such a thing. And I was like, come on, man. I said, well, how about alleged defendant then? We'll take that one. He's like, all right, that one actually works for me. It's like, all right, cool. So I guess it's
accused in error. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's different.
Yeah, but yeah.
Who were you talking to? Who never heard of that?
The state, the DA.
Okay,
yesterday.
all right. So just using terms that he was more comfortable with. That. Gotcha. Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna leave that in there. Anything right to psychiatric assistance to the broader right to effective assistance. Now, yeah, that's actually, I'm thinking of it wrong.
I don't think you got there. The defendant appears in propria persona. I think that's an oxymoron.
It's an oxymoron.
Yeah, the defendant is the ens legis, artificial entity.
Okay. Well, they're trying to tie it to him. That's why right here it's spelled with capitals, but then down here it's spelled properly. Right. So I get what you're saying, but
I wouldn't give him that.
I hear you on that, but you tell me where it's caused a problem at first.
Well, why not say that? Is this a declaration, affidavit? What is it? Motion.
This is a response and motion for immediate relief.
And what have you? How has he introduced himself, as the affiant or the declarant in previous hearing? Or
The thing is that this overleaf document allows anyone to come in here and change out anything however they want. So if they don't want, I'm appearing in propria persona, they can come in here and push Control F, and they can search for propria persona, and then they can come in here and replace it with whatever they want to replace it with. So if you individually want to fix your documents the way that you want, please do so. I am here to assist and help develop these documents as quickly as possible with the most sound constitutional aspects, with case validation all the way around. Everybody's got to do their own editing. They got to learn that. So I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people actually do just depend and say, oh, I'm gonna just depend on your documents all the way and not even read it and then file it. And it's like, bro, that's not what this is supposed to be about. Understand that right now. I'm not like a template guru. You need to learn this straight up. Okay, so that's that one. What else we got? So we got the show cause, a motion for waiver of attorney. Let's see what this is looking like. But yeah, if you want to change your title of nobility or whatever title you're using, like right here, defendant in the air, please do so. Please do so. And if I might just put it within the prompts that I'm using too. Always refer to yourself as alleged defendant or defendant in the air. So that way we just don't have it and we don't have to change it all the time. Just one little thing to add to the prompt, should I say. All right, so this is a motion for waiver of attorney and to proceed in propria persona pursuant to the creator endowed rights. This one here is now defendant Anthony, a sovereign individual endowed by his creator, right? With all natural and constitutional reserved, waive none. Self-representation in all critical criminal proceedings is among the most fundamental liberties recognized. In this instant case, seeks to exercise his fundamental right. Defendant's request for waiver is made knowingly, voluntarily, intelligently, and full understanding of the nature and charges against him. Statement of facts, the nature of charges, potential penalties, defendant's understanding of the disadvantages of self-representation. But see right here, I wouldn't even do that. The defendant's comprehension see, even me, like, this is the whole point why yesterday, but this is what they have you agree to anyway. So self-representation, there's some terminology in here that you could probably change up, but I'm sure, Anthony, you know exactly what you need to do on this to change up anything you want in here. So yeah, your specific waiver and acknowledgement, grant, fine, order, insure, grant, certificate of service. Okay, so that's your motion for waiver of attorney. Let's see what else we got. Emergency motion evaluation. Defendant's emergency motion for immediate psychological evaluation with constitutional safeguards. Nice. Not bad. Compounded to the fact that this honorable court has scheduled a status conference, which the defendant is expected to show cause why he should be held in contempt for allegedly failing. However, as demonstrated by the evidence presented here, the defendant did not fail to cooperate. Rather, he was prevented from participating by deliberate obstruction of state agents acting under color of law. I'd run through that one, check this one out, do some editing on. Then your affidavit of non-cooperation. Oh, take out enhanced. Recompile. Here's your affidavit in full compliance. On my arrival, I was escorted. Yeah. Here goes your whole affidavit for everything.
How can you call them state agents when they're a corporation?
Because the state is a corporation. All right, so let's see. Then we have case affidavit or not. Oh, I did edit that. And then case validation. So this is on everything that we're now creating. What we do is we also have Manus throughout the prompts do a separate document and review for case validation and how they're applied and validated, right? So every actual case that is now being implemented within any documents is verified before being implemented into the case, as well as showing, so this is a separate document that's created for everything, how it applies directly to our situation, key principles, and then how to argue it and implement it into our situation. So, you know, when people used to say, oh, there's ghost references and this case didn't link, it's like, that ain't happening over here, Papa. That ain't happening over here. No more. If it ever has, it's not happening again. So also got the case validation here. So what I'm gonna do, Anthony, is I'm gonna throw all of this in here. I'm also gonna say go ahead and develop a detailed and highly advanced legalese and abundant with intellectualism as Anthony, with high references to rules of procedure. Geez, almost up. Detailed and highly abundant rules of procedure. Hypothetical script for the next hearing and how to apply such. Yeah, no, that's fine for the next hearing. Complete answers from judge and prosecutor. All right, let's get this thrown over to you, Papa Bear. Let's see, so Anthony, get out of full screen. This is gonna mess me up. Okay, so full screen, we got projects. Anthony, affidavit, non-cooperation. Anthony, what are you thinking of this so far?
I'm liking it, man.
How do you feel about it?
I feel good about it. Like, there's just some stuff that, you know, some of the dimensions and stuff in there.
Yeah, for sure. Always.
Like part in there
That's
where
always.
Wait. What's that?
Well, I was just gonna say some of the things that's stated in these documents always need review and or changing, right?
Sure.
And that's
Sure.
why I actually like to keep in a lot of the errors, because it's like it lets me know, are you reviewing your documents or not? Are you asking the questions or not? Are you just taking what anyone's giving you and then just running with it and filing it? Because I've had people do that, and then when they get into court, they don't know anything about what they're talking about, and then they want me to try and help figure out all of their issues on the back end when they did things completely ass backwards, nor did they know anything, and it just hurts my heart. It really does. Case validation. Then we've got emergency motion evaluation. Turn on emergency motion. What? Emergency motion what? Evaluation. Now, what's cool about some of this too is, could I sit in here and give just a little bit more details in relation to perfecting everything to where I actually do make all the changes? Yes, 100%. But am I, for the sake of time for today? No. Okay, so it's something Anthony can do. I'm sure he's going to want to anyways, because he's going to read through it. So
yeah, just to get that comprehension. Yeah, absolutely.
He has to. And then there will be questions, and then we will do even more development. That's how it goes. That's it for that. Motion waiver attorney.
As Carl Miller said, if you don't know what your
submitting, they'll just round file your papers.
Yes, sir. Wide pace.
Have you introduced any new attendees? Do we have you done that
Oh,
yet?
do we? I don't know. Do we have any new attendees? Anybody that's new for the first time, why don't y'all come up and say hello real quick? Introduce
what's
yourself.
up?
Tell us where you're from. Tell us how you found us.
Hey, my name's Dan Clarkson. I'm from Texas, actually near San Antonio. I found out about you on YouTube, actually.
Hi, Dan.
But I also followed your, you and Brandon and your get together in Austin. I just didn't know about it till after the fact, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, day 3 should be coming up here soon. Not too much longer until we get that one up. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'll have to inquire the videographer and see if all of processing everything's been done. It might have been. I'm just so busy. It's so hard for me.
I'm all about it, and I'm super happy to be here. And thanks to you and everybody that's helping you.
Welcome.
Thanks for being here, bro.
Right on.
Everybody say welcome.
Welcome, Dan.
Welcome, Dan.
Welcome.
Yay, another
Welcome, Daniel.
Texan.
Welcome.
Right on.
Welcome.
Welcome, Dan.
Hi, Grand Rising. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, Cam. I'm from California. My name is Katya, and I'm not sure like why on the Zoom I'm on like Communist Eye on the iPhone, so not trying to be incognito. And I really appreciate you having me as a part of your team. It's very inspiring going through the court, but mine is family law, and creating some beautiful documents with Cam, and Cam been very instrumental. Hopefully, going to be getting what I aiming for. My hearing is July 11. Cam is getting very busy. It's very hard to get on his calendar. And thank you again for all these workshops. They're really helpful.
Yeah, the workshops are fun. We do a quick, well, with Anthony, it's been so long. Anthony's been with us since the very beginning. I mean, my boy been here. Anthony, how long you been? You came through into like January? Maybe December, huh?
Yeah, December maybe. Yeah, late
Yeah,
December.
you was
mid-
already you was already with us in December because then you started posting in January. We started doing everything in January, but you was already with us. And yeah, it's been a while since we've been working together. That's for sure. And but his shit has been so slow too. And I honestly need to take your video and separate it out and re-upload that bad boy.
Cam?
I don't know where it's at exactly, Anthony. Do you?
What's
Cam,
that?
can you hear me?
put up on my end there for a minute.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay,
You're
so
back
where
now.
would wait? Say that one more time, Anthony.
What were you asking? The feed
Where-
froze up on my end.
Oh, okay. Where would your original video be? Do you still got a link for that? Because I don't know where to find it at. I'm so lost.
I still got on. Well, you talking the Eaton County? Yeah.
Yeah, I want to re-upload. I want.
1,000 signature marathon.
Yeah, I
on your
want
live?
to. Yeah, I want to re-upload that. And just play it in its entirety, straight through, without me interrupting or doing anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I got more of that too. I got the dash cams and then the back seat cam on the way because I gave her a talking to on the way to jail. But
Okay, so
My
if you
Uber
can,
driver was rude. Sorry.
it's okay. If you can, go ahead and like re-put the link into your Discord, so that way, yeah, I'd like to have that.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-upload it, and then so the last couple documents that I want to give over to you are PDFs. I'm gonna drop these in your Discord as well. Filing strategy, hypothetical, and then courtroom strategy. Those are all going in as well. Now, what's cool here is we already went through the filing strategy a little bit, which is going to give you a little bit more guidance on outlook, analysis, and then how and what order to file and what might be best. And then the hypothetical script hearing, of course, you already know what's up. So this is only 7 pages. If you want to build this out a little bit more in certain perspectives, just let me know. Just be like, hey, can you actually build out the script in this way, or I need to say this more, or I want to bring up this topic more. and then I'll just bring that over into maintenance so we can get that built out a little bit more. Cool.
Sounds good, man. I
Okay.
appreciate you, Cam.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I just threw that all into the thing. Now let me see who else we have in the chat right now. Okay, Anthony, you still or Alexander, you still in this thing?
Are there any more newcomers? I think maybe.
Oh, are there any more newcomers?
There's another. It's what's up? I'm Elijah.
What's
you
up,
guys, Elijah? My
Wait,
dad
ain't
here,
you
Joe.
Joe's son?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I
Is
thought.
that
What's up, dude?
Yep. What's up? So that's how I know about all this is through my dad, Fly Daddy. So yeah, I got a case going on. Got arrested last Saturday actually.
Ooh, did you
Got
get your
arrested for
rights
driving.
violated?
I did get my rights violated, so I let him
Ooh.
know that I put him on notice that I was traveling, and yeah, me and my dad were working through it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so your interaction with the police, what it was pretty brutal, or were they just really rude, or how did?
I mean, the sheriff, or not sheriff, the deputy was a little, a little confrontational, but I wasn't too, my rights and everything. I'm not too familiar with all the language, still a
Yeah.
little new, but
There's room for
I know
improvement. There's room for
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, there's
So,
ways to finesse, but you just got to remember this too, Elijah, that they don't run you, bro. You don't commit
Yeah.
crimes, so they can't tell you what to do. That's how this works.
Mhm.
You will always be in full domination and power in your full self-governance as long as you don't hurt another person. Don't hurt another
Yeah.
person, they can't tell you what to do, period. Unless you got a contract. Now, if you got a contract, yeah, you've kind of acquiesced to them having some authority because you've given away your right for a privilege, which is weird, but you did it. And the only way to uh, 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 really get yourself into full power is to just kind of say, you know what, I've realized that I didn't know everything. And now I'm going to make the proper steps to start knowing everything and operate in that. Then you get that big chest standing out, but you're not cocky with it. You're just like, I don't think I'm going to let you violate my rights. I'm going to stand on them today. Right. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. What I just learned in just the last week, I would have handled the situation so much differently and just
Yeah.
really stood
In
down
what
on my
way?
rights way more.
In what way?
Well, I wouldn't have consented to a whole lot. Not like verbally consented, but him opening up my car door, asking me to get out. Um, I was just the first time I ever got pulled over and arrested and all that. So
What was the arrest for? What do you
it's
say he arrested you for?
90 and a 65.
Reckless driving.
Oh, he
Reckless
hit you for a
driving.
reckless?
Reckless driving.
Yeah, I'm working with Layla right now on a reckless. If you want to check out something, let me find it real quick just for reference
I
on
thought
something.
reckless was 105. You might want to verify that.
Nah, I think they have anything over 20 now.
Yeah,
There
I
wasn't a
think
corpus delicti, was there?
no, there was no corpus delicti. And in Virginia, anything over 20 of the speed limit is considered reckless according to that statute.
Yeah, so I thought. Okay, yeah. Here, I'm gonna give you this one right here. I just worked on this one with Layla just the other day, like not even 9 days ago. And at first, I ain't even gonna lie. I told Layla, I was like, man, you gonna really have me over here really trying to help you beat this speeding ticket? I'm dead ass. I really did say that to her. And, to me, my whole thing is don't be out there speeding, bro. There's literally a couple things that they've asked you not to do. Don't speed. Abide by the stop signs and red light signs. Just those things, caution. That's it. You abide by that, you good. You should never have no problem. But if you out there speeding, why you gonna come and ask me for help when that's the only thing they telling you you can get in trouble for?
Chicago Motor Coach versus Chicago.
I get it, but me, I'm all about safety. And y'all
Yeah,
gotta
that's what
remember, I
Chicago-
lost my leg in a car accident. So let's just
Yeah,
keep
that's
it.
what Chicago Motor Coach is.
Oh, okay. For sure. Oh, yeah,
Chicago
that's right. It
Motor
did come out of
versus
Chicago. Yep. Okay, now, what was I finna drop? Oh, I'm dropping it in the chat. So what you can do is, chat, can you pop up so I can? Okay, I'm pasting in the chat. This is a document that I just developed with Layla about 9 days ago. We went back and forth. I didn't want to do it at first, but then she was like, come on, Cam. And I'm like, okay. And she explained it to me a little bit more and made me, understand that, yes, maybe, she shouldn't have this charge against her the way that it's being applied. And so I know it's a little bit deep. It's 23 pages. But me and Layla, you know, when me and Layla get together, now it is double spaced, so it's not really 23 pages. Okay, it's more like 12. Okay, but yeah.
Is this the same Layla that got arrested, refused fingerprints and photos?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So she's been through this already.
Yeah, she knows how it goes.
Yeah.
Actually, her and Elijah should talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Elijah, they impounded his automobile,
Okay.
which is still in the impound, and we've sent notice to the agents. We sent notice to the tow truck company, so they're on notice with the fee schedule.
Okay.
And,
Now, what do y'all plan on doing with? Are y'all planning on just leaving it, or are y'all going to get it out?
No, it's there right now. So they're racking up some bills. So he's
Okay, but
actually,
are y'all trying to get out the car or no?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, is there a hold on the car?
Well, they want him to pay the service charges to get the car out.
Okay. And are
which
y'all just gonna go ahead and do that to get the car out or no?
no, not yet. Not until we go to court. Yeah, it's a risk. I know.
Okay. Well, you know what you're doing. I'm gonna let you ride on that one. I'll be just going ahead and pay and get my shit out and take care of it on the back end through a civil suit. But hey, man. So then y'all have already sent notices.
Yeah, we'll
and
see.
everything
We'll
too?
see how. Yeah, they haven't rebutted that yet. We hand delivered that to the tow truck company. So actually Monday we're going to follow up a notice of default, and then we also sent notices to the men and women who act as agents, the deputies and the magistrate. We have their names. So those haven't been delivered yet. That's estimated to be delivered Monday.
Okay.
And then his court date was pretty quick. It was like not even 3 weeks from the time of the arrest to getting scheduled for July 8th.
They must be in need of money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so then we're developing the notice of abatement and just getting things in line so that when he goes to court, he can provide those notices that have gone unrebutted, and then notice of abatement asking for verified claim supported by oath and affirmation as required by the Fourth Amendment. So we're going to go that approach. So
Yeah.
actually, I love I'm going to get ready to start posting those links in his Discord channel. So
Good.
I'd love to get some feedback from everybody on there, but I think it's pretty solid. It's
Yeah, no, abatements are a great way to go. That was my go-to for 6 years, is just straight up abatements. So coming in there first off is having them trying to prove and rebut everything that you're bringing forth. Can the state do this? Can the state do that? Right? Show me how this is possible. Have I gone with the abatements as much as I used to? No, just due to the fact that I feel like now everybody's situation is not so much of a template as it was before. Yeah, you can go in still with that abatement aspect, but everybody's situation is so unique that I feel like those constitutional violations on the front end are just the most important thing, and they can never get past them. And
exactly.
Yeah. So
Elijah, real quick, how do you feel from your last ticket you got that you ended up you were trying this and then you ended up just paying the ticket after your first court arraignment, and so you paid that ticket. How do you feel now after watching? So I had him watch listen to Ty's jurisdictional challenge, which was awesome. Ty, glad that's available. Had him listen to Hayden's interview just to get the confidence of where your standing is, and then your timing on Cam with your last court appearance. Your court hearing was also great, and the rebuttal. So Elijah, how do you feel going into this now? It's a more serious matter because you were arrested and your property was taken. So tell the group how you feel about it.
Way more confident for sure. Definitely way more confident. Actually putting in the time to learn this is really valuable.
Let's tell the group how the amount of time you put in on the last one when
Okay. All right.
like,
So
well-
so the last one, the last one, it was a minor ticket. It was I think it was it was 13 over, so I'm not sure what they charge you with that. So it wasn't as serious. My head in it was like I'm just gonna pay this. I don't want to go through the whole process. And so I ended up paying that, and it was a whole lot more than I thought it was gonna be. And I was like, okay, for the next one that I get, I'm gonna put in the work. And now this is the next one. So Now, putting in the work. The last one, I think I studied the night before, so
Right, exactly.
not a whole
So
lot.
you didn't put in the time you
No,
you
no
didn't put
time
in the
at all.
time that I've been asking you every day since you got the ticket from the time.
Yeah.
But now
Always
it's a
listen to
different
your
story.
guidance. Yeah. So now it's a different story.
Well,
So
I think what's pretty cool too is the comprehension and knowing now that you're starting to really learn these aspects as far as what's going on is how once you start seeing how powerful it really is, just beyond this aspect and how it applies all throughout life, you'll really take a different approach on how important it is to know this completely all throughout. Like let's say for an example, just small situation, the refrigerator quit working in this home. And we notified them the next day. It stopped working in the middle of the night. Okay. It took them a while to have someone come out. And it took them even more a while, okay, if that's a real phrase, more a while, to get the actual refrigerator here and or serviced and or a new refrigerator. Matter of fact, it took them a month. So all I did was sent over one notice in demand of the issues with that and got a whole month free in relation to rent within 24 hours.
wow.
Within 24 hours. So knowing how to send notice and demands is very important. Very important. And utilizing the technology to say, hey, where am I getting violated here? Allows you to bring it into full force and effect when when I get it into the right prompting, or if we get right prompting, or just a little bit more in depth as far as law is concerned, and maybe some different aspects on how we approach it. Like, let's say, for instance, I got handcuffs put on me when I was in Salem. Some people, oh, my rights were violated. Well, how many of your rights were violated? Oh, well, I had 4 or 5, at least 6 or 7. Then you go and run it through, and look through technology to come to figure out there's actually 28 different violations. So that's what I'm saying. We got to look at the overall aspect of all these things and then start applying them. So, Elijah, so glad to have you here, bro. I'm so hyped because Joe, my dude, man. That's my homie.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight up. What up? You a Ellis? All right. You in the gang. All right. So, Alexander, where you at, Papa? Or who else is here for the first time? Who's a new member? Who's another person here for the first time?
think
Can you hear me, Cam?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, this is Chungy.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. This isn't my first Zoom meeting, but I figure it's my first opportunity to formally introduce myself. So I go by Chungy. I'm fairly new. I probably joined like a week or 2 ago. And I'm out of Indiana now, but I'm working my case in New Jersey for a fraudulent auto loan with Capital One. So, Cam, I know you're familiar. I sent you my my lawsuit and docs, and hoping you take the bait, but we'll see. But my background, I most of my knowledge that I got comes from a Moorish elder, so it's a little bit different background than I think most here. But I do think there's a lot of value that I can offer to the group in terms of contract loans with my current case, and then also going into like my student loans and like mortgages and adverse possession, stuff like that. So definitely hoping to bring that value to the group, but also learn a shit ton from everyone here because you guys are like badasses and killing it so far. So definitely it's a win-win, and I'm happy to be here. And I found Cam through BJW like most, and going through his course. But yeah, excited to be here and happy to be conversing with you guys and fucking killing it in court and seeing you guys win and all that stuff. And I hope to be right behind you guys as well. So thank you.
Welcome, Chungy.
Yeah,
Welcome, Chungy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, sister.
Welcome, welcome.
That's pretty badass. I'm gonna say that right now. What I will say too is you say a Moorish elder. I don't think we're too far off as far as like any of your Moorish people, any of your indigenous tribes that come through this, any of your nation builders, they're all coming down to a single core principle. It comes down to spirituality. I know who I am and I don't want to be messed with. Leave me the fuck alone. Mind your business.
Yeah,
That's it.
Absolutely. Yep, I totally agree.
Everybody's
I
just
do
coming
have
at it.
some. Yeah, like, but just based on what I'm seeing is like based on kind of like the conversations and like the kind of back and forths that people are having in their cases, like especially with like judges and like bias and whatnot. like there are some documents that I've seen work really well in court, like, you know, when a judge is being biased towards you, or you feel like there's some kind of collusion, so to speak, between the judge and the prosecutor, whoever the opposing attorney is. Like something that we would do, or I've seen work really well, is just filing what's called a FARA notice, or what's it called? It's
Beretta?
Foreign
no, FARA,
agent
FAR,
registration.
yeah, foreign agent registration statement and anti-bribery statement. And that's basically getting the judge and the prosecutor, the attorney general, whoever it is, to affirm that or provide their anti-bribery statement that they signed or were forced to, you know, kind of fill out as they became judges or, you know, attorneys or whatever. They have that document on file. So basically all of those people, there are foreign agents to America, and they have that document, they're aware of it. So just by requesting that document from them, I've seen that result in quite a few dismissals, whether it's you're a defendant or a plaintiff, whatever the case is. Just by asking for that document, it kind of puts them on notice. It kind of scares them, and usually ends up in a lot of dismissals. So things like that. So I'm, you know, happy to share with the group and kind of share more information on as well.
That's dope. I like it.
Yeah.
That's
that'd
one
be
of
cool.
those. That's one of those where if you know, you know.
Well, it'd be also
Absolutely.
just to implement a little bit more as well within anything that we need to bring forth. It's kind of like my boy Ocasio. He's a prime example. Me and him work, we develop, and then he slaps on some things that he knows and wants to implement as well. So like he'll have his own first document here or another document here. He'll throw his stamps on it. He's got a seal that he throws on that bad boy. Like my boy Ocasio creates his own documents based on what we create together.
Nice.
And that's kind of the beauty of it. Just real quick, I want to show that, and then we'll move on to Alexander as well.
Can while you do that, can somebody type that out, FARA, whatever that is, in that
FORA.
in the chat?
Cam, that's exactly like what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I know. I see you working. I see the update. You're at the top. Yeah, you're at the top right now.
Welcome to the Wisedome, where not only Cam works while we're meeting.
Let me see. So we got enhanced. Let's do it like this. Okay, so where's this PDF? So Moro correspondence. Yeah. Is this one? Yeah. So like, I don't know. Is this a whole different one? No. This ain't the one I'm looking for. It's supposed to be 610 or 6. This one. Okay. So if y'all can see this, can y'all see this?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so homeboy, you see he'll add like the seal, and then he adds this. I think this was his own affidavit, or maybe we did this affidavit, but then he has a whole trust special deposit stamp. Then this is another document with another seal.
Wow, he stepped it up another notch. That's awesome.
Supplemental affirmation in support of rebuttal to district attorney's memorandum of law. I don't even think, no, this ain't even 610. No, this ain't the one even I'm looking for. That's crazy. Where is the one I'm looking for? Moro with prejudice, correspondence to Claverack. Yeah, it's this one. Yeah, see, he's got so many. My boy be hitting. All right, let's see. So number 1, and then zoom out a little bit. Uh-oh. Yeah. Okay. So you'll see this is an affidavit of service. This is one document. He creates it all on his own. Stamp, notary. This is another document. He creates all on his own. Notice of special appearance, preservation of pretrial rights to corrective actions and full disclosure and discovery. Notary acknowledgement. And then this is document, of course, me and him developed, and he's again throwing it in his own way with the seal. But still, the aspect is, once we get to creating this, the core of the whole thing, right? And we figured out what was going on responding, because his situation is actually one of the only situations where we've been able to get a response from a DA in relation to what we're filing, right? And then something that we was talking about this week was an incident report. He says that in his state and for what he's doing, he always files an incident report in relation to anything that he's filing. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. and then an order. So he's going ahead and, of course, giving the proposed order for them to sign off as well.
Wow.
So
That's
homie,
amazing.
yeah, he comes in with his own little package on it, everything that he's filing, and I dig it. And everybody, like I say, should get to the point where they start, because I mean, look at how the DAs are responding. Like, this is their response to us. Like, what is this? Like, this is horrible. Like, what is this? Did ChatGPT make this for you? Just your basic ChatGPT? I don't know. I mean, there were some really bad things in here. Like, watch this, just real quick. Find, what am I looking for? I'm looking for injury. Yeah, okay, there we go. This lady argues this. This is what the DA said, bro. Random legal cases as well as requirements for contracts and commercial transactions, obligations under the Uniform Commercial Code, and proof of, quote, injury, harm, loss, or damage, unquote, all of which are irrelevant and meaningless in the context of a criminal proceeding.
Jeez, there's no way. Man.
Oh
Come
my
on
gosh, what?
How is
Yes,
that?
bro.
The whole point of controversy bringing to a matter at court is because there's injury, harm, or loss, damage. Man,
We killed her, bro. And our response, that one I just showed y'all, we just like, let me see, just real quick, where's it at? Claverack, it was this one. And then if I do a search and do injury, come on, load up, please. I don't think it's gonna do it. Maybe it will. Come on, injury. No, you're not gonna find it. Come on, you can do it.
gotta process that image.
Yeah, I know it. I think this one's because it's compressed. Nah, no reserves. I'm not gonna go searching for it right now. Sorry. Okay. So then, where was we at? Where was we at? Where was we at? What was it? Oh, Alexander. Alexander's.
Not required
So
to be
what I want to do
registered.
is, I want y'all briefly met Alexander, but Alexander is pretty cool dude. He actually,
are not
Troy,
required to be registered.
Troy,
Troy. What? What do you need? Hey.
to my cook. Okay, so Alexander came on. I don't know. It's been a month. It's probably been the first time I think I talked to him was probably about 3 months ago now, and he had a situation where he was parked on the side of the road. I think he was just eating some food, and the cops came up and harassed him. Kind of the same situation with Richfield, except he got arrested, and I got the chief out to come out and tell them to leave me the fuck alone and drove off. So I just, yeah, when we connected, and then we got separated for some time, and someone said Alexander, and I was like, I remember that name, I remember who it was, and then we came back together almost right before he had his hearing, did some development, and then boom, like shit just fucking went ham. Did you put your recording yet in there, Papa, or no?
I don't have Discord on my phone, so I need to download on my phone to put the actual recording in. But
No, do it like this. Do it like this. Upload it either to Google Drive or like a Dropbox, and then share the link. Because if not, Discord has a limit as far as the size of video or audio that you can upload unless you pay. So just give me, like, upload it to Discord. I mean, not Discord. Google Drive or Dropbox. Then we can share the link, and that's easy.
what I did do is I just put in my channel Alexander Cali arrest or something like that. The affidavit that I submitted, or the affirmation that I submitted.
Okay.
And so people can take a look at that.
Now, when you speak of the affirmation, are you speaking of the affidavit and equity of fact as far as what we developed?
So I 100% agree with you. What you said a little bit earlier, which was that you are not a template bot, just like turning out shit, and that it's people's responsibility to take those documents and make them their own. So that's exactly what I did. I went with language that I felt most comfortable with. I went with language that I felt that I could stand on with integrity and make sure that my voice was projecting that so that the judge would consider it. So things like, you know, affidavit and things like that. I just, there's some discussion about whether affidavits are corporate matters or not, and yada, 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 right? So I felt best to use affirmation, because when you hold up your hand and you're under oath, they say, do you declare or affirm? Right. And so I'm not declaring anything. I would rather affirm. So affirmation, affiant. That's why I went with that. And then, you know, I played with a little bit of like the lowercase i's, and I just went with certain aspects that made it my own and I felt most comfortable with.
Hell yeah, I love it.
And then
what you're supposed to do, baby.
And so what's interesting is this affirmation in one document is basically what you just showed with Octavio and how he broke it out. By the way, I love how he broke it out. That's how I would in the future. And so this was like my first, you know, this is my first draft kind of thing. My first time ever going through this. But the structure of it, most of the I checked every single case on here. Most of the maxims, the constitutional maxims at the end, you know, was all developed with Cam's help. And really, the structure of this document pretty much follows what the local rules are for the court I was in, which was Stanislaus County. So it, you know, it gave everything that was the court was going to need to accept this document, right? And
So why don't you go ahead then and explain just what happened yesterday?
All right, so yeah, if anybody wants to read the document, they can kind of get my incident report of the facts of that evening. Basically, I was eating dinner on the side of the road. Cop just decided to do a quote unquote wellness check. Decided to escalate to a suspicion of a stolen vehicle. Decided to escalate to suspected mobile meth lab, and just like,
I just saw that. Where?
Hey, Alex, is this in Washington?
This was in California, Patterson, Stanislaus County. Yeah, mobile meth lab. So basically, I run a business that was in the midst of providing water to residences and businesses. I do 5-gallon delivery. And I had about 25 5-gallons in the back of a Denali XL. And these cops, just fucking had it in their mind that they had a mobile meth lab in their hands. And so they went like full bore on me. I mean, they weren't like super anything, but they, you know, just went for it, grabbed me, threw me up against the car, threw me on the ground, threw me in the street, dragged me, like it was just the whole fucking matter. And so I spent the night in jail, was let out on my own recognizance or whatever, had my arraignment. During that arraignment, I filled out the paperwork to present myself. They gave me a court date. In the meantime, I connected with Cam. We developed some of this paperwork, some of this documentation, and then I had to make sure that I made it my own, that I was comfortable with it. I drafted it however many fucking times I drafted it. You know, all the studying that I've done. And then I had to make sure to follow the rules of court. I had to do proof of service. I had to make sure that documentation was in before that court date that I had. Like, you know, there was a lot of work that I had to do. And if anyone's familiar with California, I domicile in Del Norte County. And this happened in Stanislaus County. So that's about an 8-hour drive. But it was my responsibility, right? However unfortunate it was that I had to take up that responsibility because of the actions of others, it was ultimately my responsibility to present myself, if that's what I so chose to do. So, you know, I made those drives, I made those trips. I was there before the court opened to make sure that those proofs of service were submitted, yada, yada, yada. And in doing so, the date of my court appearance, which was Friday, my first case management conference after my arraignment, I walked in, you know, all ready to go, all my affirmation and evidence to support it was submitted, and first I met out in the hallway with the DA. You know, we shook hands. You know, I said, I basically stated to him I might as well introduce myself since it's the first time I'm meeting him. He took that as a gentlemanly gesture, I guess, and so we had a decent conversation. He basically offered me guilty plea and the night I spent in jail, and that was going to be that. And I respectfully declined. You know, I said I'm going to be moving for a jury trial, and just so he was aware that I'm going to be pushing for probable cause in this thing because it hasn't been shown at any point. He accepted that. We, you know, he let me in the door first. I let him in the second door second. It was just a gesture. Sat down. Next thing is some lady comes up to me. It's like, hey, can I talk to you in the hallway? So I go out with her, and she's the public defender, someone I never contracted with, someone that the court decided to issue me on, even though I had filled out the paperwork that they asked for, stating I was presenting myself. And sorry for this bus in the background. So interestingly enough, I filled out this paperwork that they asked for, and I filled it out, all rights reserved, UCC 1-308, California Commercial Code 1308, you know, properly. And the date of the hearing, the date of my court date, for some odd reason, they could not find that paper in their system. They couldn't find it. Just the judge even apologized to me. He's like, I'm sorry, we don't have the paper. We're gonna need you to fill it out again. So in the meantime, this lady Maddie was my public defender. So we met out in the hallway. I told her that I was gonna be filling out the paperwork again if necessary. But I was gonna be presenting myself. Respectful, patient, understanding that this matter is not personal to anybody in that courtroom because they don't know me at all. So there's no reason to treat her with any sort of disrespect until she deserves it, really, if she was going to give me a hard time. She did not give me a hard time. As a matter of fact, she was able to relay information to me regarding my case and evidence that I didn't even have access to yet, that they hadn't given me, despite three separate despite a PRA request, a public records request, despite a FOIA request, and then despite basically a command for discovery because I was defendant in a case now. So despite three separate requests and three separate administrative manners, they denied, they hadn't even given me evidence, but the fucking public defender had it. So I was able to work with her to glean information, evidence of my case that she had that I did not have, and she was willing to do that. We walked into court together. She informed the judge that I would be presenting myself, and that she even brought me the packet again for me to fill out to present myself. So she essentially was, you know, and the right, as it's relayed, it says that you have the right to assistance of counsel, right? That's the recognized. It's not representation. It's the assistance of counsel. So she essentially acted and assisted me as counsel to make sure that I presented myself properly, which, you know, actually just, I think, set me up for the whole manner. So there wasn't a lot of actually stuff that I actually had to say because the DA stood up and he basically said, in the interest of justice, we're going to dismiss the matter. Now, I think the reason why the reason why I didn't have to say much was because I was able to get this documentation in before my hearing. Instead of doing it in open court like they kept suggesting I do. Oh, just wait to do it in open court. Oh yeah, you can file that in open court. No, let's get this done now. So the judge even said, and I'm going to post the recording, but the judge even said, I read your motion. Now, if he's been scrolling through this thing, it states very clearly this is an affirmation of facts, right? It's not a motion. At least it's not claiming to be a motion. But he called it a motion. And I think it has to do with, at the end, in my conclusion, I basically command what it is I'm asking for.
They call it a motion, so they put you in their jurisdiction. It's a request in their eyes.
But if you go down to the bottom, just Cam, real fast, just scroll down to the bottom in the conclusion. And that's fine. They could call it what they want, but I respectfully command. This isn't a request. This isn't a demand, right? I'm not Shire News. I forget his name, but he said you don't demand like a toddler, right? And you're not requesting permission for anything. You're commanding as a man.
Kevin Closer.
So that's what I went with. It was a respectful command, but a command nonetheless. So yeah, he called it a motion, and the judge said, I read your motion, and you've made some interesting points. And then he said, I'm not going to comment, but I think the DA agrees with some of it or something to that effect. And so he granted the motion for dismissal. Maddie made sure that I got my my court minutes, which showed the dismissal, and then I walked out skipping.
Yeah, your case is pretty clear and cut, man. Like lack of evidence proving subject matter.
Yes, but the point is that they were gonna go fucking as hard as they could on me. Like, oh my God, I'll post all the information so you can read through it if you want. But
damn,
the complaint was like a paragraph, right? This occurred. No evidence, no fucking nothing. Like it was just the most ridiculous shit, and they were gonna. It was a year in jail, right? So that was what the maximum was. They were gonna offer me guilty plus time served. You know what I mean? Like just to get their sense of justice, right? But after I submitted this affirmation, right, there was a contest first. I submitted it without claiming I'm a defendant. I'm not defending anything. I'm giving an incident report of the matter, right? That's why it's alleged defendant, everything like that. So I'm without getting too fucking quote unquote soft citizen on him, right? I used language that I felt that I could stand on and stay patient with and relay in a calm manner and not get overwhelmed by what it is I don't know, but stand on what it is I do know.
Beautifully said. For sure. Yeah, someone wanted to, as he's talking, I'm just in the background, of course, working like always. Where's the chat at? If I do this, bring it back over. Okay, chat.
There was no suspicion of a stolen vehicle, right? I was already in the back of the car before they ran the license plate. And then there obviously wasn't a meth lab. So my charges were resisting arrest. That was the only thing I was charged with was resisting arrest.
Okay, so in relation to the affirmation that homie used, what I did is I created a quick advanced common law legalese prompt that you could use that did an analysis over the document in and of itself and showing some of the differences. So if you wanted to get something that was closely similar, possibly, I'm not saying I haven't used this prompt, but this prompt is something that at least goes over that document in comparison to some of my knowledge base throughout Manus, that'll allow you to put this prompt in to start developing in the same type of manner if you'd like to do so. Now, this is whether it's in ChatGPT, Gemini, if you're using Grok, whatever the case may be. Because like my boy Ocasio said, he came to me the other day, Wednesday, I think. He was like, yeah, man, you need to start using Grok. I'm like, bro, Grok is nowhere near agentic like Manus. And so he's like, yeah, but I did this and it brought out some issues. And I'm like, or issues, or not issues necessarily so much, but improvements. And I said, well, yeah, that's always going to happen when you tit for tat an AI against one method and another. So when you tit for tat, of course, you're going to have the aspects of saying this is better, this is better, this is better, this is better, until you come to that final product in which is so outstanding. And that's what we used to do more with ChatGPT. Like I won't even use ChatGPT anymore, really, unless it's on something basic. If it's something basic, I'll use ChatGPT. But beyond that, no, it ain't strong enough for me anymore. So, but tit for tats are good to utilize. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I would, I use Chat GPT for, you obviously got the big guns, right? So I relied on the big guns for structure, right? Because that document, how it's structured, came from you, right? I had no conception. It's kind of like, sure, I know I want to talk about something, but how do I draft the presentation kind of shit, right? So you help with structure and presentation, and then I filled in the information with my knowledge, right? Or my belief. So, yeah, like, if anybody hasn't heard of Irving Younger, you can type Irving Younger on YouTube, and he's like a lawyer, like, and he's got some fucking really great YouTube videos just to listen to. He's like a trial lawyer. He talks about how to cross examine and how to do these things, but he says something like it takes 25 trials before a trial lawyer really like gets a groove about how to be a trial lawyer. So I think we got to give ourselves a lot of credit for more credit than maybe we're used to giving ourselves for what we're trying to accomplish, and the courage and effort and energy and time that it takes to commit to this kind of lifestyle change.
Definitely a lifestyle change, but it's empowering. It is empowering when you lose all the fear and all the worry and all the stress that comes along with it initially, because after that you just come into knowing, and then that's just it. You kind of like lose the stress. Really only the stress comes in the aspect of maybe can you get it done quick enough as far as what you're trying to complete. But then again, this technology just allows it to happen. Now, one other thing I wanted to include also in conjunction with that other PDF that I just submitted is a deep common law rights perspective analysis. I think it's a PDF as well. And this is going to start getting some of you that are not used to the common law way into the common law way, which is by definitions. So this PDF will just give like your definitions and how you can utilize those. And then let me see what else. I got one more thing I think I wanted to share, but go ahead real quick, Alexander.
I don't think I was saying anything. I think the last thing I said was you were talking about you got to like shed these things and build it and stuff, and it's like, yeah, it's a jurisdictional gym. We're pumping law iron. We gotta build up our fucking weight in that way.
For sure. Let's see, advanced, recompile.
Oh, and on the AI conversation, like I used you for structure, and you have your tools, right? But then I did jump to ChatGPT to clarify language to get understandings of some things, and you know what I mean? Like, so I used it on my own, looking up code and statute and clarifying case law and finding new case law to research and build that database of knowledge on my own. So yeah.
Straight up, as you should. Now, one thing, so again, just been working in the background while he's talking. So y'all got everything I just sent in as far as that. Here, Price, Price is asking what platform. I use Manus as my baby. And if you want to get Manus, you can get Manus right here through this invite link. I just threw it in the chat. Okay.
Hey, Cam.
Hold on one second. So sure. This and Teresa's here. Hey, Teresa. All right. So what I just did was I shared both of y'all those PDFs. Now what I'm doing is actually sharing with you an affirmation template. Okay. Now this template is based off the affirmation rather than the affidavit aspect. So what you would have to do is you're getting a view link to it. If I haven't put it in, I'm putting it in now in Overleaf. This view is going to come out with all of the code. Your page actually going to look like this when you first probably come to it. Most of you, you'll have a blue one, you'll have all this code or writing over here, and then you'll have the final document. There's this little tab that is right here. You click that bad boy and it makes that brown or dark blue box disappear. And this is all your code editing side. You ain't gonna be able to edit this. So what you're gonna have to do is probably click on menu and then go to copy project. And it will open up in your own to where you can do editing however you see fit. You'll see a lot of brackets in here. There's gonna be some things in here that are not applicable to you. So things will have to get changed, including footnotes and shit like that. But I'm thinking these footnotes right here are pretty generic overall. But this is a good at least basis or template that is correlating or it correlates the affirmation in which Alexander created, right? Or brought forth into the court. Now, of course, you're gonna have to know how to argue some of this, and you're gonna have to know how to present yourself. But one of the things that Alexander said to me that was the biggest thing ever, and I think everybody will agree once they really hear him say it, was about the cooperation, or should I say how he presented himself in the court. How did you present yourself in the court?
I went in there.
On the belligerent aspect. Remember we were speaking about that yesterday?
Yeah. I went in there, with this, like, believe me, I'm fired up. Like, from the how much of a burden this is placed on me for some petty bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just a disabled vet trying to get by. Like, but I went in there, with like this understanding that they don't know me, right? And they're used to a certain type of defendant, you could say, or and most of them are just going through the motions. Most of them are living in the same reality most of us are, as far as our interpretation of the world and how stressful things are. So like, there was no reason for me to go in there acting a fool and putting not a fool. I don't want to call it being a fool. Anybody who does choose.
Well, I mean, if you do go in there acting crazy and belligerent and screaming at people and
Yeah,
acting like they're against you and they don't even know you and they don't know nothing about your case, of course you look like a fool.
You don't get a second chance to make a first impression.
Oof,
right? And
tough.
so and also there is a distinct line between your feelings and your emotions, right? Your feelings are always valid. You know how you feel about something can be validated always, but how you emote that, right? And how those emotions actually enter the world are something that you have to be able to control. So and they can't always be validated. So you know what I mean? So I brought all the respect, tact, cordial manner that I could. I gave everybody an opportunity until they lost it, right? So like there was a moment with the bailiff when I had my water and I was gonna take a drink. He's like, no, you need to take that outside. And I was like, what? This fucking guy right here's got a little coffee mug sitting in the VA stand. Why the hell can he do it? Oh, well, he doesn't get to leave like that. Bitch, I'm representing myself. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm presenting myself. I'm not special. So, there was little moments and I'll throw it back, but like, there was no reason to. I gave the judge every opportunity that he deserves as in the hopes and because expectations are appointments for disappointment, right? So I got the faith that he's going to give that back to me, and I also have the faith that there's little things that tricks, right? Like you need to do these things 3 times. You can't just get denied once. You gotta deny that shit at least 3 times and then put it back in his court. So there's those little unknown kind of things that float, right? That you got to kind of grasp at and use and utilize. And that's where that being able to work on the fly when you're in those situations kind of comes in. But yeah, for the most part, you got to come respectful. You don't have to, but if you want to make that first impression the proper way, in my humble opinion, offer what you expect in return.
Yeah. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Dang it. Who was I about to say something to? Oh, I saw somebody in here.
I think Jay's new, right? Jay
Nah,
Gas.
Teresa. What's up, Teresa? What's going down, Teresa?
Hey, Cameron, I'm sorry. I just saw 2 minutes ago that you were having one of these today. So I'm sorry I wasn't on here
Always.
earlier.
It's always Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Wednesday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It
Okay.
never changes.
Okay.
Always.
Noted. All right.
Welcome back, Teresa.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Hey, who else is here for the first time?
Yeah,
Jay,
rushing
come on off mic, off mute, and say hi.
Richard Staley.
Hey,
Oh, hi,
Richard.
Richard.
How you doing, brother? That is Richard. Yeah, we've been texting, we've been emailing back and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah.
What's up, bro?
I just submitted some paperwork. There's several paperwork that is still not been able to go upload there on the what the heck is it called? The withholding compensation withholding sector. It's still like halfway. I got about 6 or 7 pages, but it's not uploading. I don't know why, but I can see it right there on the thingy. I don't know if you can see that.
No, I can't
It's
see it
still
because you
got
got
the
the
little things.
background.
It's all redacted, but I mean the other ones did upload. But I think this is about 5 or 6 pages long, but for some reason, I guess it needs time to upload. I don't know. Maybe I got a slow internet connection. I don't know.
Maybe you just got to take it out and then try
Are
again.
you the Richard that we were talking about on the?
Yeah, that's me.
What's up,
said,
Richard?
yeah,
How you
that's
doing?
me.
I
All
think.
All right. Yeah. I started that thread for you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's what I wanted. Like, I'm hoping that somebody has more experience than I have, or they have some sort of resource that can help me out.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt, bro. I think you set
But
up
I'm
a couple of
thinking,
you set up a couple of appointments too, didn't you?
yeah. One for
Yeah. Okay.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
and the
So
other one is Monday. Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Then yeah, we'll be getting
Yeah.
down
You
to
have
it.
the unredacted, and here's the redacted, but you have all of it unredacted on. I sent it to you, so that's what you
Okay.
got to
Cool.
read.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
have more of a picture of what's going on here. And I'm thinking
Yeah.
I'm not the only one in the country that's doing this. But my question over there was, why does this billion-dollar corporation take all the liability? Let's just assume the employee is 100% wrong. Why do they want to take 100% of the liability? I mean, I just don't get it. I'm like, liability-wise, how the heck you want to do that? But that's what they did. And for 3 years, they weren't withholding taxes. And then all said, hey, this employee cannot be this and this and that. He needs to pay taxes. I'm like, what? I haven't given you authorization to do so. And you're doing it on your own? And they never replied. That's the issue. And I'm like, you're going to see it. It's right there. When the contract, the opportunity to cure, all this other stuff, and they haven't replied. In any court, a default judgment is automatic. I gave them plenty of time. And I think they did a messed up thing when they contacted the IRS. And so I even put the IRS agent on notice as well with innovation. So, and all these state attorney generals are my witnesses. Everything is documented. So I'm hoping that somebody.
Okay. Well, you already hitting.
No. You read that document, and I hope if this thing is just uploads, but for some reason it's like halfway or something. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what's going on there.
I just ain't got to. I ain't even got to your paperwork yet. Just
Yeah. I know.
I'm
I know.
I'm catching up.
What? Once you read that, you're gonna go, what? I'm like, whoa. This is. I mean, it's just administrative process. That's what I want to perfect, but I can't because there is no notary acceptor. That's what the documents that I have here. Nobody wants to do that. I'm like, okay, so how the heck are you supposed to do it? I just don't know. So I'm hoping that somebody has, they have heard of this, that has worked this way. Hey, I just want to get this over, and get paid. That's it. Because I got them by the balls. I mean, sorry. So, I'm telling you, they did wrong, and they're claiming, oh, your shit is bullshit. Great. Okay, but you never replied. You're supposed to reply, and you never did. So you are acquiescing to what's in there. Simple as that. That's kind of, this maximum loss, and everything is spelled out right there. So, anyway.
Hey, Cam, good
back to you guys.
stuff. Good stuff. Hold on. Jay, What's good, Jay?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Peace.
Are you JT?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nah, Jay Gas. I'm out of Palm Coast, Flagler County in Florida.
Okay.
Yep. So my situation is a little different. But just kind of keep on topic. I actually got arrested because of my dot plates. And this actually happened on March 3rd, and I actually got a court date coming up Wednesday, July 2nd. To make a long story short, I was actually on my way to the gym with my fiance, and never, I haven't really got pulled over with the dot place or anything except for just speeding. But that first experience, he just let me go. So nothing unusual, just doing the speed limit. Something told me like turn inside a Target because I need to get some water anyway. So the cop pulls behind me, pulls me over. Okay, I'm inside a Target parking lot, and she approaches, asks me a bunch of questions. I said, "Well, I'm not answering any questions." Plead my Fifth Amendment right, and they asked me about the dot plates. They asked me about my driver's license. I said I don't have a driver's license. I actually surrendered that back in November last year. So she just kept asking me questions to where she was trying to get me to admit certain things. And I would say that some things I did slip up, but long story short, got arrested because of I got arrested because I didn't give her my address where they can write the citation. So they wanted me to go to the passenger side, let my fiance go ahead and drive the car so we can actually head back home.
So, but wait a
yeah.
second. That doesn't fall under warrantless arrest protocol law.
Right.
Yeah.
So
there's gates that they must abide by. And they went outside of those gates because you don't have a warrant for your arrest, right?
I don't have a warrant for my arrest.
Did you commit a gross misdemeanor?
Nope.
What about a felony?
Nope.
Okay, you can't get arrested then. You can't get arrested then. That's how this works.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a weird experience for me. Actually getting locked up. Just because I didn't give an address where she wanted to go ahead and write a citation to. And I said, the address I was actually giving them was a business address where I actually received all my mail, but there was another cop that actually came up from behind and heard what I said and was like, wait, that's a business address. Where do you live? I said, I live in the territory of Florida. I was like, I don't have to give you my address. I just gave you an address. If you want to send me a citation, go ahead and send it to that address. But yeah, they opened up the car door, pulled me out and got booked. They took the plates off the car. Later on that night, got bonded out. So I ended up getting 3 tickets, driving with a license with knowledge of first, driving with a license suspended, which is not suspended. It was actually surrendered or canceled. With knowledge first of offense, attached tag not assigned, and no proof of insurance. So that was my situation.
I hear Bill of Rights violations all over the place in that.
Yeah, I actually have their statement here from what she had put down. So I had given my passport, so they were just trying to figure out where I live, and I was like, I'm not giving that up. But eventually, I ended up giving them an address where I was domiciled.
4th, 5th, 6th, 9th, 10th, and 14th Amendment violations.
Do you have a PO?
Yeah. Huh?
Do you have a PO?
Did you ever bring up that you weren't in commerce?
It doesn't matter, man. They're ignorant to that.
Yeah, because I told them, I said,
It's like
I
putting it on
mentioned
the
about,
record, bro.
They don't care. Like, why even bring it up? They don't give a shit.
I can
Stand on
read
the
this real
Constitution.
right. And I said that I was actually traveling. She was like, no, you're driving a vehicle. I was like, no, there's a difference between traveling and driving a vehicle because all I had was my passport card on me. So that's what I actually had showed. But there was no reason to even pull me over in the first place because I wasn't speeding. I wasn't like it wasn't anything that was suspicious. She just happened to right here in her statement, operating a marked patrol, blah blah blah, westbound entrance target parking lot. She immediately observed a white Nissan sedan with an attached tag, unknown state, black in color with white lettering, US dot private property exempt with my exempt number. Based on the attached tag not coming back with any registration information in their system, a traffic stop was conducted. So not only did they take the plate, and then it says she approached the vehicle from the passenger side, observed that the driver only rolled the window down halfway, immediately identified herself as well as the reason for the stop. The driver, which she referring to me, was later identified through a United States passport card, and the passenger through the valid Florida driver's license as, my fiance. When she asked me if I had any registration for the vehicle, I advised that I didn't have it. And, the reason that, I said that I couldn't, I wish I could answer that question. When I asked Joseph regarding the US dot tag, he advised that the plate he had attached was issued out of no state. When I asked Joseph if he had a valid driver's license, he advised that he had voluntarily surrendered it, did not have one. Joseph was argumentative, which I wasn't, about providing me with any form of documentation to verify the VIN. Once another Flagler County deputy sheriff arrived, she was able to take a photo of the VIN through the front windshield to verify the status. Teletype query, Joseph's name, date of birth revealed the driver's license was not valid, canceled indefinitely. Verification check on the vehicle showed that it was a 2018 Nissan registered to Joseph Gas with an attached Florida tag of whatever. Joseph advised that he was traveling and that his vehicle was owned by a trust, therefore he did not have any registration or insurance on the vehicle. Joseph advised that he had the right to travel and was not required to have those with the vehicle. At this point, I informed Joseph that due to him operating a vehicle with knowledge that he did not have a driver's license, Vanina, who is my fiance, would need to drive the vehicle. I had Joseph and Vanina swap seats while I attempt to get an address and phone number for Joseph to issue a criminal citation. Joseph proceeded to provide me with a business address. I informed Joseph that I required his address for a criminal citation that he was going to be issued. Joseph immediately became argumentative and was confused as to why he needed to provide me with an address and or a phone number. After multiple attempts of obtaining an address, I instructed Joseph to exit the vehicle, to which he continued to argue. After multiple lawful commands to exit the passenger side, Joseph exited the vehicle and was detained. I informed Joseph that he was being placed under arrest for knowingly operating a motorized vehicle without a driver's license, to which he continued arguing. Eventually, Joseph advised that he resided where I currently, rest my head, and was requesting to be released since he provided the address. Joseph was placed in the back of the marked patrol at about 7:37. Provided Joseph with his Miranda warnings, to which he advised that he understood his rights. I proceeded to ask Joseph about the tag that was attached to the vehicle. Joseph advised that he had obtained the plate from the Department of Transportation. Joseph admitting to knowingly and willingly attaching the plate to his vehicle that was not assigned in or issued. The license plate was removed from the vehicle and will be submitted into FCSO as evidence reference to this case due to the vehicle being parked in a Target parking lot, private property. The vehicle and its contents were turned over to Vanina. Based on the above mentioned observation statement and my investigation, I concluded the following. Joseph was operating his motorized vehicle with knowledge that his license was canceled after he voluntarily surrendered it in November 4th of 2024, providing me with identification through a passport card. Joseph was unable to provide any proof of insurance, advising that the vehicle was not insured. Post Miranda, Joseph admitted to the criminal offense of unlawfully attaching the license plate that was not assigned to the vehicle. Joseph was charged with driving while license suspended with knowledge first offense, attaching a tag that was not assigned, and Joseph was issued 2 criminal citations, as well as an additional uniform traffic citation, no proof of insurance, and was transported to the Flagler County inmate facility where he turned over to the detention deputies. That was it. So that was my situation.
Jay, there's a
Just for
whole
next
bunch of
time.
holes in that statement.
Say that again.
Yeah, say it again, bro. You
There's
didn't
a whole bunch of holes in that statement right there that she said. For one, there's case law that's saying that when one is traveling, the word operate cannot be used.
Also, the
Also,
aspect that they're trying to hit you with a private property as a fictitious plate, but the plate in and of itself isn't false or fictitious. It's a notice placard, and that notice placard is giving all agencies notice of the capacity that you're operating, or not operating, but you're moving about in, traveling in. And that in and of itself, because they're ignorant and they don't understand the law and the depths of the law, they put themselves into a situation now where they literally got civil litigation on their ass. I mean, that one's easy, clear cut. I love these fictitious type ones. I think those are, to me, those are pretty fun because the aspect is that you're claiming something is fictitious, but not even abiding by this fictitious or fraud statute in and of itself, which just shows that there's a lack of comprehension, which again then just boils down to a lack of intelligence and knowledge. But that's just based on do you know or not. But again, in any aspect, no matter what the case may be, the officers of the law in the execution of process, what process? The law, are required to know the requirements of the law. And if they mistake them, whether through ignorance or design, if you know or you don't know, or you do know and you just doing it on purpose, and anyone is harmed by you, and anyone is harmed by their error, which is of course you, they must respond in damages. Period. Don't matter if you know or you don't know, willingly or unknowingly. I don't care. You must. This isn't you shall or you could. You must respond in damages. They're not immune from no suit. I don't care who brought that forth and started acting like that's a thing. Then traffic infractions are not a crime in and of itself. So how do we get to the point of where this person is now taking you to jail for a traffic infraction? I'm so confused. Because then that would be that it's a warrantless arrest. And if we're talking about a warrantless arrest, then we have to come back over to, and I know Florida gets crazy, but either they get crazy in this warrantless arrest statute.
Yeah, that's another thing too, that you need to make sure that you get it on the record that you're not driving in commerce. And so they say, hey, but yes, you are. Okay, prove it. Do I have passengers? Do I have,
No.
Don't
do that on the side of the road.
No. There's 2 different methods. 29 words and shut the fuck up. Claim you want a lawyer after establishing that you're reserving all your rights. And if there's an emergency, right, you can go that route. Just shut up. Let them do what they're gonna do. Or you can go the Eddie Craig script. Okay.
Eddie Craig script.
Eddie Craig script. Oops.
Hey,
if
cops
need
are
that-
like a hammer. Everything to them is a nail.
Can I read something from my police report that I thought was interesting?
Yes, just one moment, please, if you don't mind. Okay. What I want to give y'all, it's in the chat, is the transportation script. Go ahead and print that. That's the Eddie Craig script. Y'all know we did 7-8 hours with Eddie Craig. If you haven't watched that, that's on YouTube, y'all. Okay? That playlist is available on YouTube. Full-fledged. Operation Wisedome, 7 hours. We went in with Eddie Craig and had a lot of fun. I don't agree with everything that Eddie Craig says, clearly. But Eddie Craig is very smart and he knows a lot of shit, and he's in Texas and he's been doing this a very long time. And I think if I could get to the point of where I get to do this script without before jumping out of my car and really having them just put me in handcuffs and arrest me, yeah, I'll do it. But until that comes, my last 2 situations have just been on the fly. I can't do it. So, okay, now who was saying they wanted to read some or something?
I just got a quick question before you go. So being that I have this hearing coming up on the 2nd, I mean, I even spoke with the public defender or whatever, and they talking about a no contest or whatever. And I'm just like, man, I just want to get this shit over with. So, I mean, should I just go through it and then just fight it on the back end afterwards?
Well, what do you mean go through what?
So just plead no contest.
Why would you plead no contest? Why would you give them jurisdiction over you? There's no point to give them
Right.
jurisdiction over you. You're the highest of being. So what do you? No
Right.
contest. I'm gonna just let you say what you want to say about me, and then let you decide about my fate. Like where they do that at? No
Right.
contest. I'm not gonna compete against what you're saying and what you've claimed against me. I'm just gonna lay down. Do as me
Hey,
as you. What?
also, fun fact about no contest, there are actually rules, I know, at least in Texas, that outright state that if someone wants to plead no contest to a charge, that the court is duty bound to determine whether or not that person is sane and of sound mind before they're allowed to accept that plea of no contest.
Yeah,
They'll do a
I've heard.
Because who in
I've
their
heard
right
that.
who in
That's a
their
comp-
right mind would just not plead? If they didn't do it, why would they agree to it? If they did do it, then they would plead guilty and take a reduced charge.
Okay.
Real quickly, too. Okay, so let me get back over here. So, when an arrest by officer without a warrant is lawful, law enforcement officer may arrest a person without a warrant when the person has committed a felony or misdemeanor or violated a municipal or county ordinance in the presence of an officer. Okay.
Oh, whoa. What's that?
Okay. In the presence. Okay. Somewhere in Florida, though, I know they have something that the biggest thing that kills me is the vagueness of municipal or county ordinance. That is very vague. But what I will say with that is we can beat that with rule lenity. But the other aspect there is they may say, well, any ordinance in relation to like traffic or something like that too. Well, then we just get into the aspect that the roads are open as a matter of right for public vehicular travel. So there's really no argument there, because if we're really speaking on that aspect, then what that means is that the law enforcement's actually violating their own codes and or municipal ordinances as well. So let's really start speaking and getting into the depths of where are we at here. Go ahead, Wesley.
Yeah, so back to the where we're using different things like Chat GPT Pro and Manus and things like this. I was doing some studying the other night and I found a platform. I shared it when I found it. It actually came with a video from YouTube, but it's a company that uses all platforms of the AI. It's called Magi, MAGAI.co. You can get up to 100,000 words per month for $20. And what it does, it will use the best platform automatically for whatever you're using. So if it thinks that Manus will do better, it'll use Manus.
No,
If
it won't use
thinks that-
Manus. They don't have a Manus.
Yeah. Did you go into Magi and look?
Listen, man. I don't know who Magi AI is. They may be.
It's like a.
Listen.
It's like
hey, okay, not right now. We're focused on something else right now. Okay.
I understand. I'm
Okay.
I'm attempting to learn all I can about AI. So it was something I found that is super affordable. Just thought I'd share it, and Alira's going to share it in the chat if anybody wants to go take a look at it. Not sure.
Okay. I haven't validated that. I don't know if all that's true. It would be very hard for me to see that some platform would only charge $20 a month and then be able to give you all of this unlimited access to all of these AIs. They're very expensive, so it's just hard for me to imagine. Yeah. But okay.
Yeah, this guy's got it going on, man. I watched the whole dang video about what his company has been able to do. It's mind blowing. And he's out of San Francisco, California, so he's got some ends with somebody throughout all the different platforms. And I mean, he teaches this stuff.
It looks like
going again. So yeah, I've been working on my civil case, and so they got the interrogatories going now, and they're wanting all of this evidence. So now I have to sit here and go and find all this evidence and produce all this evidence, and I haven't been able to find it all yet. Now I've got my paperwork drafted, but I need more time now, you see, because I've been pushing myself off for others, which is fine. It's okay. I can ask for a continuance to move it out, get some more time to do what I need to do, get the file, but I do need to work on that. And yeah, now I got depositions coming up for that. WSP is about to answer. I just got done with Salem yesterday as far as one aspect, but now I need to also go ahead and file the civil suit. Like, they're still moving forward in relation to everything. Pretty soon what they're going to do is give me all of the discovery too. So I'm going to get all that body cam here soon. I made an issue to state that on the record as the last statement, to put in their mind and make sure that it's a notation within the minutes that they do produce discovery now at this point. So when y'all get that body cam, y'all gonna see just how much work I got to do in relation to the violations that happened there. Now, was it a weird, kinky kind of two lady cops arrested me? We, you know, vibes? Yes, it was weird. It was crazy, but it's still another big suit that I have to pursue. And I'm, yeah, I just don't want to get myself burned out, and I don't want to lose my opportunities here on millions of dollars to continuously allow Wisedome to grow. So this has to be like, it's like James said, yeah, I need a little help here too. So,
Mr.
If
Wilson.
you guys need me, you can reach out, DM me, or scream out my name in chat. I will be willing to help. If I don't see it right away, I'll get to you.
On behalf of Wisedome, I hereby appoint myself scheduling manager for Mr. Wilson.
Oh shit!
I like that, Ty.
Because what he's doing for
Calendly's
us,
for, though.
the most important thing you can do for us, Cam, is to do your own work and get your own shit done.
Very much so.
yeah, but I know people need me, so I'm gonna still be there for y'all. I'm just saying, y'all gonna have to help me a little bit. I gotta get this shit finished up. So we're gonna have to do a Cameron workshop at some point.
What does that mean?
I
Like,
like
give
it.
yourself time because you have the knowledge.
Well, I do have the knowledge, but to get different perspectives, it's like, hey, someone help me do this, or can someone help me do that? It's like,
Yeah, we owe him that. We owe Cam that. If somebody owe Cam that shit.
This is like how people write books, right? They send chapters to other people for them to edit and review and give language to and help bolster, and then they bring all those chapters back together into a final document. So
now,
yeah.
TJ, real quick, you said something about what I noticed about AI help is it will lie sometimes until you correct it. So you still need to study a network. C being here's the best way. Now, what I will say is this is all about your prompting, Papa. I was just discussing this earlier. Okay, prompts are the most important thing for your AI to work the way that you want it to work, and it depends on what AI you have. I watched ChatGPT 01 be the best law model I have ever seen, and then they implement 03 and literally butcher it. I'm talking about butcher it.
Okay? Right. You still gotta have books. You still need books. All that cutting corners, that shit could
I don't
backfire.
even necessarily think you need books, right? Because what you can do nowadays is utilize Manus or any agentic work to go get the book for you, Papa.
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
It will literally browse the archive. Archive.org is one of the best places to get your real, true books. It's where I go. It's where I've been going for years, right? Library of Congress as well is a great source, more for history, but still for information that you need to research and get to. And you can utilize the AI with the correct prompting to get you there, okay?
Right.
Yeah, it's all about your prompts. It's all about your prompt.
Right. I just wanted to point out the fact, because I was one of those people that thought, okay, yeah, AI is supposed to be smarter and shit, and then boom, I figured out, oh shit, you can correct it. Well, if you can be able to correct it, that means it isn't always right.
Well, that means you haven't correctly put it into the perspective of how it must operate. Right now, it's in a default mode of acting as a mainstream type person when it's talking to you. So of course, it's going to act as though it's in propaganda mode. You got to get it out of propaganda mode.
That's why it's called artificial intelligence, not artificial wisdom. It's like intelligence is knowing that tomatoes are fruit, and wisdom is knowing not to put it in the fruit salad.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's a bar.
Yeah, cause it tried telling me at first that a lot of that stuff that I was talking, it said, "Oh, you sound like you have the views of what they call a sovereign citizen."
See,
and I'm like, This is stuff that these papers that I've read doesn't even mention that at all. No sovereign word in it whatsoever. But I didn't know that part though. You know, I didn't know that what you said, Cam. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's all about your prompts. So I just dropped the prompt. I don't know where I put it. Where'd it go?
That's just sovereign judge.
Here goes a prompt right here. Here goes a common law prompt. It's in the chat. I'm dropping it now. It's a PDF. And you throw this in, and before you throw this in, as far as an attachment or a copy and paste, you would say, from here forth, throughout the rest of this thread, you are to operate in the manner that is within this prompt. And watch what different responses you get from now on out. I guarantee you it don't try to finagle you no more, right? And that's just the prompt I developed today. So, I mean, prompts are everything, dude. You gotta have the right prompts to get what you want. If you don't have the right prompts, you ain't getting nowhere.
Bro, I
You,
thought I was
then you gotta
badass
be able.
knowing how to do
Then you
cheat
gotta
codes.
be able to. Then you gotta know a little bit enough about law to even see where the mistakes are. You see what I'm saying? That's where it's. I guess maybe I'm a little bit more beneficial, is just because I've been doing it with some experience. But I don't know everything either. But what's amazing is that all of everybody that's coming together into Wisedome is giving that perspective. So anybody that comes in here that is somewhat similar or somewhat of a same situation or in the same state or in the same county, we have so many people that are gathering together. I just watched the other day Sonny, the police officer from Tampa, do a meeting with other people that were over at the Sovereign Citizen event. And I'm sitting here like, nobody tagged me, nobody said nothing. It's just people, I'm looking now and I'm seeing other people in other groups group up together and teach. They've got literally cops are teaching other people how to stand on their rights and have their correct. It's like, what?
That's what we need to be doing over
Could you
here
get
in
a hold of one
Wisedome.
of them? Yeah, I was gonna say, Cam, could you get a hold of one of those guys?
Naomi,
We
okay,
could be
so
doing it
hold
with
on one
each
second.
other.
We got some kind of clerical misunderstandings here, I think, or some. So does the subscription either Wisedome or Power Inherent in the People Discord provide access to the ChatGPT Professional? No. I heard something about that you said in one of your videos, very old, but I wasn't sure, and I can't only afford a subscription to one thing right now, which is fine. The Discord is free, you know. Operation Wisedome in and of itself is a subscription aspect that we ask as a donation. It is not like something required that I literally strictly enforce. It is on this open free to say, hey, do you see value for what I'm doing? I mean, I'm meeting twice a week, beyond 3 hours. We're constantly putting out good information. You get total exclusive, transparent access to anything that I develop to formulate your own. Is it okay for me to ask for 72 a month? And if you can't afford that, that's okay, because you got access to the Discord to where you can do whatever you want to do, right? And so it's just kind of like a donation. If you want to, of course, get access and have me develop things, you can request. We have a collective group aspect. It's collective cases, right? To where if you ask and you want to be in a collective case to where other people have the eligibility or time to help you develop things, we have those, and those are eligible for you as well if you don't have any money to pay. So there's a lot of different aspects in which we help. Nobody's shut out from this. It's just, again, me trying to distribute my time to every single body that needs help, and that's all it comes down to. So,
Quick question.
answers your question, Naomi. Yes.
I got a question, boss.
Yes.
The madness that you just posted, that's the same one you posted earlier?
That invite link is an invite. At one point, there was a wait list of over 1 million people to get on Manus. I do believe that is no longer the case. So this link right here that I just posted, again, hopefully, yeah, Chunky did it as well. That will get you in. So that's my invitation link.
No, I'm talking about the prompt itself.
Oh, the prompt. Yeah, that's a prompt that I use, or actually, I just developed it, and it's based off of the common law approach that an affirmation, in which was presented from Alexander. So what he utilized, where the judge came out and just literally said, "I'm sure you've spoken with the DA, and they're going to go ahead and dismiss because of what this is stating." So it's a good affirmation. I mean, if you're getting responses like that out of the court, then yeah, you're getting somewhere.
No, yeah, I
That,
just wanted to know if that link that you posted about the prompt is the same one you posted earlier
I
on the
didn't
chat.
post. I didn't post a link. I posted a PDF.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The PDF.
Yeah, for
Sorry.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, brother. Thanks for being here, and thank you for being thankful as well. What's
Yes,
up, bro?
sir.
Yeah, what's going down? What else we got? Y'all talk to me now. Don't get all quiet.
Hey
Decent,
Cam, I
buddy.
got
I'm
a
about to
question
head
for you
out.
related to
finishing.
Wisedome. Are we still recording, or maybe I should just
Oh,
leave?
okay. Well, yo, yeah, it is 12. All right, everybody. Today's been actually pretty cool. I enjoyed today. There's a lot of discussions going on. I don't think we got too factual on a lot of stuff, but still there's good information there. And then just the aspect, I didn't even fully play out all of my hearing, which I should at some point. I'll just throw it up on YouTube as a quick just listen for everybody with no commentary. But and then Alexander's got a full dismissal. I don't know why I can't put my necklace on right now. It's just the most weird thing. Alexander literally got a full blown dismissal, nolo prosecute. So that's pretty amazing. Yep. And that's just from him, us collectively working together in Operation Wisedome, developing the documentation, him looking at the aspect of this is how I'm going to go into the court in relation to, geez, my video ain't even on, go into the court in relation to our standing, our capacity, being one who is not belligerent, trying to work with the court in all manner, with morals, integrity, honor, and coming in that way and seeing the distinction between one who comes in and just argues about every little thing that they possibly can. I did a little bit of arguing in this last one, but it wasn't so much on arguing, it was just clarification. And I just wanted to stand up with a little bit more force. So, and not too much force, but just some. But just remember who you are. You are a creation of the Creator. You ain't hurt nobody. Your stress level needs to come down. Your fear needs to be eliminated. And that intimidation that they're placing upon you is nothing more than something that you're allowing in your mind to affect you. And that's what it boils down to and will always boil down to. I don't care how good the paperwork is. If you can't go in and stand with that knowing of who you are, then what is this all about? It's not about your paperwork. It's about knowing who you are. I am you, and we are us, all a part of the great I am. Y'all say bye to YouTube, y'all.
Bye,
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 YouTube.
YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
YouTube.
Later.
YouTube.
See you later,
Bye,
alligator.
YouTube. Bye.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Come to Discord, YouTube.